live, baby. Good morning, Vietnam. Alright, we're back. We are fucking back, indeed. Last we left off, we killed a bunch of demons, we made our way to this lovely little tower, and now we're back. We're back, and we're talking with people at the inn. We love people at the inn. It's good shit. We got our dog. Gonna have him run around with me. We're 52 experience away from leveling up, which is annoying. So I happen to know that the basement of this place, you can find some interesting stuff. So we're just gonna run down to the basement real quick, and then we'll talk with people in the inn. Because you might as well. Oh, what do we have here? Iomade, protect us. Well, that guy is, our guard here is extremely gullible. Has some great coffee. It is almost black. Which is about as far as it can get from me. I like my coffee to be as strong as I wish I was. That does something. Sure, that's good. Loot all the barrels. Steal all the supplies. You can never have too little gold. That's what I always like to say. Old maps of Avestan. Good shit. Take a shield off the wall. Why not? Grab some armor. Sell that. Why not take everything from these people? They deserve it. They're having a good day right now. Alright, let's talk to Woljif.
Chief, hey Dreamboat, come over here. I want to talk to you about something. Something really important.
Quit bothering the decent people in here, Woljif, or I'll knock your teeth out.
What's it to you, Delvin Dum-Dum? You were told to guard me, and I'm not stopping you. But no one told me I had to shut my trap.
Right, well, so who are you?
Woljif Jeffdo. I deal in useful things. I can get you whatever you want. Anything. But there's just one problem.
Yes, so what do you want from me?
I'll lay it out for you. Simple job, 30 minutes tops.
Uh-huh.
Go someplace, talk to someone, and in
Right.
return, whatever you want, I'll get it for you. Some extra rations, no problem. Armor, weapons, scrolls, you name it. It's as good as yours. If you need my help with something, whistle and I'll be there. I'm handy enough with knives too, and even my magic know-how isn't too shabby.
What a load of guff. If you were good at magic, you wouldn't be stuck in here now, would you?
Don't you listen to him, Chief. He'd find fault with the Queen herself. I'll be useful to have in battle, and I'll sell whatever you want at a reasonable price. It's your lucky day. You won't need another gem like me in Canabras.
Right. And why are you in chains?
Does it really matter? Don't get hung up on the past, Chief. Don't look to the future. Live in the here and now.
You know, this guy, I appreciate this guy. He wants me to ignore his record and find him gainful employment, and I'm all about that.
He was caught thieving.
Oh, it's just, I mean, it's not awful. So you shot it. What's that?
Get me out of here and I'll tell you. And don't worry, it's not contagious.
That's, you know, I feel like every time in my actual life somebody has said, don't worry, it's not contagious, it's ended up being contagious. And that's true not only for colds, but also STDs. I have a lot of regrets. Right. I can't help you while you're chained up here. How can I free you?
It's easy. You know Irabeth? Feisty looking gal, always wears armor. You can't miss her. She's the meanest fighter in the whole city. When you see her, put in a good word for me, will ya? Tell her there's this guy, Woljif, locked up for no good reason in the Defender's Heart. Well, for the follies of his youth. And he really wants to get out on bail so he can keep up his good behavior and make a contribution to society. You got that? Will you do it?
Right, I'll talk to you about your situation.
I knew I could count on you. Knew it the moment I laid eyes on you.
We'll talk later. Fantastic. We're 52. The fuck does that do? Alright, well, we'll figure that out later. We're 52 experience from leveling up, so I want to finish this little escapade. We'll go talk to Irabeth, and then hopefully we'll end up with a new companion, and we'll end up leveled up, which is fantastic for us. It's Irabeth! It's also a book. Love books. Hylor and the Spinner of Nightmares. Some good shit. Alright. Let's talk to Irabeth. Any success? How's the city? And there's a tiefling chained up in the Defender's Heart. What can you tell me about him? Woljif is a petty thief from a gang of thieflings operating in Canabris. That's what we call them in these parts. They tried to rob a vendor of magical items recently. Unfortunately, we apprehended only one of them, the rest managed to escape. I feel like thieflings is... I feel like, in terms of racially profiling in Fantasyland, obviously, I feel like you can't get much more racially profiling than fucking thieflings. Yeah, they're tieflings, but we call them tieflings because all of them steal. I feel like, all the videos of CVS cashiers following around like minorities at gas stations, they're these people. We have nowhere else to keep him apart from Defender's Heart. That's hardly a prison. Woljif knows it too. He's been begging us for days to let him go free or have someone vouch for him. He's already asked you to put in a good word for him, hasn't he? If you want to recruit him and put him to good use, go ahead, take him off our hands. We can ill afford to let a soldier spend their days watching over a middling thief. I hope the tiefling proves useful, should you decide to take him along. Alright, well, have to go. May Iomade keep you safe. Thank you, Irabeth. Alright. Let's go get our tiefling. I'll dignify him by calling him his actual name, Woljif. Talk to some of these people on the way back up, but not that level. Alright. Save.
Well, Chief, what do you got for me?
I talked to Irabeth and I've decided to make you part of my troop. See how it goes.
You must be a smooth talker. Come on, Delvin. Get these bracelets of yours off me. I'm going free.
You're sure to regret this. This tiefling will fleece you for everything you've got. Mark my words.
Joke's on you. I hate wearing fleece.
You're a bitter little man, Delvin. Petty and mean. You can't even be happy for me, can ya? I pity you. I'll leave you alone with your sad little soul. So long. And now, Chief, straight down to business. You see, I'm one of those guys that people around here call thieflings. We just call ourselves the family. After we knocked over that shop and I got stuck here in the Defender's Heart, a little bird told me that big sister Carisme wanted to see me. That she had some questions to ask me. You following? Now, she won't be asking me questions like, Woljif, how'd you manage to get out of this one? Or, Woljif, you're so thin, didn't they feed you? No, something serious has gone down, and I just know they want to try to pin something on me. I can feel it in my tail. So, I knew right away that I couldn't go alone. You turned up just in time, Chief. You don't need to do anything when we get there. Just stand behind me and look mean, and I'll handle the rest. Somehow. Let's go, I'll show you the way.
Fantastic. Alright. Woljif has been recruited, which means our party is a little bit bigger. Always a fan of bigger parties. Excellent. Alright. We have also leveled the fuck up. And our team has leveled up too, other than Woljif, who started at level 3. Not bad. I don't know if we have anything that's really useful for him, weapon-wise, or armor-wise, or accessories-wise, but let's level up. So we're going with a dex-based Sacred Huntmaster Inquisitor build for this playthrough. Skill Monkey to the max. Just want to get everything that we don't have at 0 that we don't have at 1, up to 1. And now we can start putting more points into other stuff. I'll chuck 1 into persuasion, as I'm currently like the party's face. In terms of feats, weapon focus. I don't know if I already picked up a weapon focus. I don't think I did. No, didn't. I should though. Precise shot is very good though, so I'll take precise shot. Precise shot lets me shoot into melee without taking a -4, and we've got a lot of melee characters in this party, so I want that. My next feat pickup is at level 5, which is a while away, so I want that before I take anything else, so we'll go with that. For my teamwork feat, I do want precise strike, but I won't be flanking very much is the thing. Now, I do have Inquisitors get solo tactics, so at 3rd level, all of the Inquisitor's allies are treated as if they possess the same teamwork feats as the Inquisitor. Her allies do not receive any bonuses from these feats unless they actually possess the feats themselves, right? So, if I'm flanking with someone, but I won't be in melee, so I probably won't be flanking that much. I think I'll go with it anyways, just because I can give it to some of my allies and it will be good on them as well. Picking up a new spell. I think what we might want to go with is I think we'll go with ear-piercing scream. It's a little bit of crowd control, and I don't hate that. I guess, well, actually, I'll go with magic weapon. I haven't found a +1 yet, so might as well. Feeling pretty good about this. Yeah, so we're rocking strength 14, because if you didn't know, you only add strength bonus to damage unless you find an agile weapon that uses dexterity. We do not have one of those yet. So in order to get extra damage on my attacks, I need to have my strength up a little bit, and I also need to use a composite longbow, which adds some of your strength modifier to the damage. So strength 14, dex 19, con 12. Not wanting to get into melee, obviously, with 16, using it as charisma. 10, charisma 10. My wolf also levels up. At level 7, the wolf will grow to size large. I could multi-class into Cavalier for some mounted combat. That might be fun. He's got 2 points. We're just gonna keep... we're just gonna keep moving them into athletics and mobility for right now. The wolf is sort of set up the way that I have him set up to perform trip attacks on enemies. Idea being he'll knock them prone, and then I'll be able to capitalize on that, and everyone will get nice bonuses to their attacks. If an enemy who's prone tries to get back up, my melee characters get attacks of opportunity on them. So he's just sort of set up to support in combat and create more damage for my allies rather than do a lot of damage himself. So, weapon focus. I think I usually use claw on him, so we'll make his claw attack. We'll give him a claw attack for the weapon focus, and that's fine. Other Lan, he's a Zen archer monk. I'm just gonna keep auto leveling him up. I'm not worrying about it that much. I will actually take a couple of these points off of athletics and mobility because they're already pretty high. And we'll give him a little more in stealth or nature. I feel like that makes sense. Deflect arrows is alright. I feel like actually improved initiative. I mean, I know deflect arrows is like a classic monk thing, but he's ranged, so he's not going to be up close that much. So we're going to go improved initiative on him instead. Obviously, longbow It's weapon of choice. Easy peasy. Amelia is a spirit hunter, keeping her in Spirit Hunter land. I do know that multi-classing her into Rogue would probably be pretty good, because I think she has 19 decks, if I'm... I think she has 19 decks, if I'm not mistaken. So, I don't need the shamanism stuff as much. Slayer would also be good for her. But we'll multi-class her into Slayer. Why not? She would be alright as an Arcane Enforcer, but I think we want to keep her more damage oriented. Go with an Executioner. I feel like that'll be good for her. She'll pick up Sneak Attack instead of getting Slayer talents, as well as some studied targets. Also go with Spawn Slayer. She is kind of one of my front lines right now, so something that puts her good at frontline shit is very useful to me. We'll go with Spawn Slayer. For the points, I want to put some into mobility, some into athletics, just to get her to a +1 in that, so she's not at a deficit. And then we'll put some into Knowledge Arcana. For the feat, she's currently fighting a Rapier. I think we probably want to keep her with a Rapier. If she can grab Precise Strike, that might be very good. She can. But I want to grab Improved Initiative on her as well. It's so good. Improved Initiative is good on pretty much everyone. The faster she gets to go, better it often is. I'm just wondering. Well, Piranha Strike is good. No, she's working with finesse weapons right now. Don't want her to go into 2-weapon fighting. Having a buckler is good for her. I think next feat I pick up for her will probably be a Rapier feat, but we'll give her Precise Strike, and we'll also give Sela Precise Strike for now. Sela, of course, is my main frontliner, a big lady. We'll keep her Paladin, just because Paladins are useful. Don't necessarily care about her putting that much points into her mobility. We'll have her put a point into athletics, and we'll have to put to take down her persuasion, since she won't be facing. Or religion is pretty good for her. I feel like that makes sense for her. And Knowledge Arcana. She's got heavy armor focus selected as a feat, but I actually want to select Precise Strike so that she can use it with Camellia, since they're usually in battle together. Then Mercy, Nauseated, Fatigued, Shaken, or Sickened. I think Fatigued happens more, actually. So we'll just go with Fatigued for now. That'll be her. We're done. We're all leveled up. Very nice. We'll depart back up. Zhernog. A young man in well-worn traveling clothes and a simple wooden symbol of Erastil on his chest is efficiently cutting a linen into strips to use as bandages. Despite his visible exhaustion, he works with zeal, singing some tune about red braids and ripe sheaves of wheat under his breath. He raises his warm, chestnut-colored eyes to you. Are you one of the Crusaders? Thank you for defending those of us whose talents lie off the battlefield. Rajanak, servant of Verastal. Pleased to meet you. I see you're a brother of faith. You haven't picked the best time to be here. I believe in fate. I wound up here in this place and at this time. I believe it's for a reason. Perhaps old Deadeye brought me here so I could help a little. So I could at least heal a handful of the faithful, or maybe before I start my service in a quiet little village somewhere he wanted me to see with my own 2 eyes what terrible evil exists. The brave crusaders who protect us from it. But what are you doing here? I only took my holy orders recently, so my god has only bestowed a little of his power on me as of yet. Sorry to say that the number of wounded fighters in this tavern is far beyond my power to heal. But there's a reason. People say have faith in the gods, but look after yourself first. I may not be able to help the wounded with magic, but I can at least cut up bandages. Are you from around here? No. I was just passing through Canabres, sailing down that old man of Oz, the great Selene River, to a village by the name of Chili Creek. I happened to land in the city on the eve of the festival. I'm ashamed to say I decided to stay for a day to enjoy myself, but I ended up staying longer than I bargained for. Chili Creek? What is that? Small fishing village, not even marked on some maps, but people live there. What they don't have is a priest. They have no one to heal their wounds, no one to offer prayers for a good catch, no one to give their dead a dignified burial. And the world wound is a stone's throw away, so I'll be setting sail for Chili Creek to serve my god and my people. Aren't you, a young and experienced cleric, afraid to go to the border of the world wound? I won't lie, I am afraid, but what can I do? Those villagers are simple people. Every day of their short lives is spent doing hard, honest work. That's exactly the kind of life I want, something simple but meaningful. If I had centuries ahead of me like elves do, I might have spared some 50 years or so to travel around the world. Maybe even 100, why not? But I don't have time to spare, so I want to spend my short life in the place where I'm needed most. Even if it's dangerous, especially if it's dangerous. I could use the help of a cleric. Verastal knows I'd be glad to help you, but it's no use. My spells are depleted. I have no training in potions or scrolls. See this robe I'm cutting up for bandages? It's the second to last one. Right, I have to go. May Verastal watch over you. Indeed. I am a servant of Verastal. Wolgif's here, eating the food. Hey, Chief, want to talk? I want to know more about you. How much is more? Well, your family, tieflings too. My family is an interesting story, actually, but I just don't tell it to anyone. My mother and father had a bakery, their life was great, but the gods never blessed them with any children. One day, my mother went to the river to wash some clothes and saw a basket floating downstream. Inside the basket was a baby, adorable, chubby, and fast asleep. Yours truly. In my hand was a note spritzed with expensive perfume that said, "Take care of my little angel." My mom brought me home, and she and my father realized right away I was heaven sent. They raised me as their own. When I turned 15, my mother showed me my baby blanket. It was embroidered with the coat of arms of an unknown kingdom, all in gold thread. Ever since then, I've been looking for my real parents, but it's not easy. Traveling takes money, so if you have a few gold coins, I'll pay you back as soon as I find my real family. I give you my word. That doesn't sound very believable. Seriously? Usually everyone just believes everything I say. People love stories like that, you know, cute baby, basket, blanket, what's not to love? Moses! They look at me differently, as if I'm worth more just because the sheets I spit up on might have had a fancy coat of arms on them. If I really was a prince, I wouldn't be sitting around here, I can tell you that much. I'd have already gone on to take what was rightfully mine. And then I come back with an army, so I could watch the guards and merchants who push me around all my life bound straight before me. It's not gonna happen. Wanna hear the real story? The true story's boring. My family's human, both my father and my mother. They used to live in a village, I forget the name. When my ma had me, my old man got so mad he almost killed her. Pinned her to the wall, started asking questions, like why his son had horns and a tail. Well, my ma told him that her mother, my grandma, used to fool around with a demon. When he heard this, my daddy dearest got drunk, trashed the house, and took off. I don't remember any of this, of course. Grandma told me. I was about 3 years old when my mother brought me to Canabres and left me with my grandma. She said, "You and your demon have ruined my life. Now you handle him." Then she left. I haven't seen her or my dad since. She did leave a blanket, though. That part was true. But my grandma burned it because it was infested with lice. Wasn't even good enough to use as a rag. You'd think, after all that, my grandmother saw the light, felt rightly ashamed to kiss my horns? I wish. Phoebe used to give her trouble for fooling around with the demon. She wasn't welcome anywhere, so she got angry. Normal kids get bedtime stories, but the only tales I got told were how my dad was worthless, my mom was a slut. I was the demon spawn no one cared about. She only kept me so I could help around the house steal things she needed. That's the truth. Well, fantastic. So, how did you become a thiefling? I already was a tiefling. Life made me a thief. I've been in this business since I was a kid. My grandma used to say, if you don't work, you don't eat. She gave me as an apprentice to Eager, tiefling neighbor. He was a cunning old geezer. Knew how to take a purse off somebody's belt, how to cut the open bags detected, even do some magic. I used to climb through basement windows and open doors from the inside when I was still small enough. When I grew and stopped fitting through the windows, I decided I was done with my education. I repaid my grandma for everything she'd done for me, which was absolutely nothing. Why would I feed her if she wasn't bringing me any money? If you don't work, you don't eat, so I took off. I just got bored of my teacher too, but when I as much as hinted at leaving, he said I owed him for my education. So I just nodded, and then I joined the Owlbears, the gang that ran our district, told them Eager was working their territory. I don't know what happened to him, but I stayed with the Owlbears. Then their leader started giving me the cold shoulder. I did steal from him, but never that much, so I had to rat him out to the guards. Then I joined the Golden Hands. That was a good time, rich pickings. I would have stayed with him, but the Northmen promised me a bigger cut if I told them where the Golden Hands kept their loot. I'm no fool, so I told them. After that, I had only one option, join the Northmen. And then the family came. At first, no one took them seriously, called them thieflings and all that, but I felt it right away. They had power behind them. They had money. I'm always on the winner's side, Chief. That's why I joined the thieflings. Right on time, too. Some thugs came from the capital and made the Northmen leave. Ones who survived are in the family now, too. Well, what do you think of Canabris? Used to be such a hole. Then the Crusaders and refugees came near. Things started looking up. Although it depends on who you ask, I suppose. Which is better, steer clear of here, because Iomede's followers are fierce. Especially Horan Shapuk, the local Inquisitor. He's a tough old goat. I didn't see it myself, but a serving girl in the tavern told me her second cousin's son from his third wife is a paladin. And he said, that Holrun takes an unsheathed sword with him, even to the privy, and when he sleeps, he puts it on the pillow next to him. And when he's in his cups, he strokes the blade and whispers sweetly to it, "You are my one true friend. You're the only one I can rely on." Earbeth's giving us a hard time, too. You much as look like at some nice little bauble, and before you can think of taking it, before your fingers even twitch, she's coming for you, with her nostrils flaring and her fangs glinting. Scary woman. But even she's better than Sister Carisme, our boss here in Canavers. By R, I mean the Thiefling's boss. If you get caught up by Erebeth, it's all out in the open. You go to prison, or you end up as warm food. But if you step on Carisme's toes, poof, you're gone. Just like that. No one ever sees you again. All you'll hear is, he went to the family farm, even though he's never had a family or farm. You have demon blood in you. Do you ever feel drawn to the abyss? Hey, Inquisitor, what's it to you? If I've wronged you somehow, just come out and say it. Don't ask me trick questions. I know how it happens. I used to know a fella. He was married to the sister of a guard. Some shady types got him drunk one night, started asking him suspicious questions about the gods, about the queen. So he wakes up hungover with a headache. Someone's mumbling something. It smells like smoke and his feet are kind of hot. He looks down. There's a fire under him, and the prelate is reading out his sentence. Yes, well, your shadow looks strange. What kind of magic is that? Ladies and gentlemen, roll up, roll up. No dark magic, no fraud. A trick without any deception. Ta-da! Doesn't do anything, it just looks scary. I remember when I was little, an old beggar showed me and my friends how to make shadow puppets. You put your fingers in front of a light, makes the shadow of a deer or dog or a dove on the wall. I tried so hard, wanted to make the best shadow, and I did. It just happened. Funnily enough, that's the last time I had any real friends. They tried to stone me later, screaming at me, calling me a demon. Tiefling is always a demon to these wimps. Even the lowest ranking drunken gnome thinks he's better than me, just because he hasn't got horns or a tail. The poorest beggar in the filthiest gutter thinks he's better than me. Most people would never show their shadow again after that first time, but I don't care. If stones start flying again, I'll just run. I'm used to it by now. Well, It's not the strangest thing I've ever seen. Oh, well. Here I was thinking I'd impress you. Thanks for not dragging me in front of the paladins, at least. They already know me. I've been brought to them before. I remember the paladins all standing around, looking inside me for traces of evil. Couldn't find any, so they let me go. Alright, enough. I want to ask about something else. I have to go. Let's talk later. Whatever. You're free to do as you please. Good old Wolgiff. Alright. Let's talk with Horgus Worm. He owes me some money.
Here, take this. Yes, it's 2,000 coins. Take your payment, and remember that Horgus Worm always keeps his word. You helped me get back to the surface, and I duly paid you for escorting me. Now, speaking of our future cooperation, I have a job that would be perfect for someone like you. Naturally, I'll pay generously for your services.
What do you mean, a job for someone like me?
For an adventurer ready to sell their soul for booze and then lie down drunk in the gutter. Or do you think you're somehow different? A traveling knight, perhaps, noble of heart, but without a cord to your name? You seem reliable enough an ally to me, and you did get me out of those mongrel caves. So why should I care what you do with my money once you've got it?
Noble birth doesn't give you the right to behave badly. I would ask that you refrain from such statements in the future.
Oh, really? How impudent. No one tells Horgus Worm how to address the rabble.
So, what kind of reward are we talking about?
1,000 gold coins.
Double the reward. Now think about it.
Yeah, right. For that kind of money, I could hire Queen Godfrey herself to guard me. 1,000 is my final offer.
So, what does this job involve?
You shall be my bodyguard. You see, I have good reason to return to my mansion here at Canobris. I still am. Well, it doesn't matter. It's none of your business. My mansion is a breathtaking building with a large garden in the wealthy part of the city. Even before the cards attacked, every thief and fraudster in the city tried to hire me, one way or another. I shudder to imagine the state it's in now. I have little hope that my guards were able to hold the mansion during the attack, and I expect that the servants fled when they saw the demons. Only Abadar knows what's happened there since. Therefore, I would ask you to meet me at my mansion and guard me there until I complete my business. I already asked the local paladins for help. They've no desire to set foot outside of this tavern. Damn cowards and traitors is what they are. Also, please do take Camellia with you. I trust that girl more than the rest of your gang. She is of noble birth, after all.
Deal.
Marvelous, most excellent. I'll proceed to my mansion at once and wait for you there. Meanwhile, you needn't worry, I know the city like the back of my hand. But do hurry, unless you want me to lower your reward.
Well, great. Speaking of Gimmelhawks, who are you? Gimmelhawks, vampire. Are you really a vampire? No. How did you end up in the Crusader City? How did anyone end up here? How did you, them? The world is big, but there isn't a place for everyone. People who no longer have a life anywhere else, they end up here. Any news in the city, perhaps? There are demons everywhere, and you showed up. Are there any places in this city worth visiting? If you mean places normal people usually stay well away from, there are plenty, like the Pataxian wine cellar. It once belonged to a Pataxian trading house. Then King Iravetti came to power in Pitax. Property started changing hands. Soon after, the cellar's shop assistant was found in a ditch. Not all of him, mind. Just his head. Numerian gangsters have taken possession of the place. They wanted to sell something stronger than wine, and they ended up in the gallows. Then King Iravetti's number was up. So now the stone stands, empty and unclaimed. People say a headless ghost wanders the place, moaning at night ghoulishly. Ooh. Just don't ask me how he makes any noise with no head. I wasn't there. I tell her like I heard it. I see you're not one for talking. I have to go. Alright, Camellia. Greetings. So, where did you learn to wield a rapier quite so well? I had good teachers. That they don't get all the credit, I'm a most diligent student. Your speech tells me you are of noble birth. You're most insightful, a fine quality to have. Forgive me if my questions disturb you. I couldn't resist such a noble and beautiful lady. I'll stop bothering you immediately if talking to me upsets you. Not at all. Our conversation is an exquisite delight. Tell me a little about yourself. Want to know more about me than you already do? I talk to the spirits of this tormented land, and they guide me in battle. I'll help you fight the demons, and I swear you can rely on me in this matter. Isn't that sufficient? Your amulet is quite unusual. Where did you get it? Ah, a little trinket. It's so nice of you to notice. I assure you this amulet is nothing but a bauble. Can a lady not be drawn to beautiful, useless things? Anyway, as much as I enjoy our delightful conversations, the spirits are calling to me. I must respond. Please excuse me. That doesn't seem sketchy at all. Alright. Staunton.
Oh, it's you. Good work back there in the Grey Garrison. Name's Staunton Vane. If you've heard rumors about me, just so you know, everything people say about me is true.
I need to talk to the elf who calls himself the Storyteller. Do you know where I can find him?
Storyteller? Strange old fellow, that one. Used to sit with me for hours asking about all sorts of things. Never offered judgment or comfort, he just listened. First, I wanted him and his questions as far away from me as possible, but I later realized that talking to him did ease my burden a little. I hope he's alive and well, completely blind and feeble, so if he's alone in the city, well, you probably know what that means. I do know one place he might be. Look for him in the Blackwing. It's a library. Here, I'll show you where it is on the map. I don't know what use a library is to an old elf, but he loved the place. He would sit there day and night.
And what do people say about you?
Say I'm a traitor. As bad as a real Vorlesh. That I'm a disgrace, even among the ranks of the condemned. The Queen Galfrey never should have spared me. I belong on the gallows.
Why do they hate you so much?
You really don't know. I'm the reason why the Crusader forces are holed up at the fortress on the edge of the World Wound instead of bringing the fight to the demons. We used to have a foothold in the Wound. Mighty, unassailable city of Dresden. We used to have it until it fell, because of my stupidity. I gave the enemy our main citadel. I was tried. They wanted to execute me, and rightly so, but the Queen intervened. She said I should live and fight to undo what I'd done, so that's how I live. Decade after decade, fighting in the condemned. As you can see, I have fixed nothing. I have earned no one's forgiveness. You going to spit in my face too? Wouldn't surprise me.
It's not my place to judge you. Who knows what I would have done in your shoes?
Really? Something, I suppose.
A whole city fell because of you. How's that possible?
What do you mean, how? If you don't trust the word of a condemned, go ask somebody else, like my little brother Joran. If you don't believe it, what's it to me? But if you're about to ask me to recount the story of my disgrace for the 1,000th time, don't.
You really don't have any friends.
Couldn't have survived this long if I was completely alone. Joran, my little brother, he keeps me going. Never abandoned me. Everyone shies away from me like they might catch what I've got. Even fighters in the condemned console themselves by thinking I got stripped of my rank, but at least I'm not Staunton. Commander Terabate seems to be the only person in the whole army who remembers that I'm a soldier, not a drudge. She has no qualms about taking me into battle. She's had some mud flung at her in the past, or so I hear. That's why she tries to keep an open mind about people. No surprise, she's the only one to hold on to her sense in this farce.
So many years in the condemned. Surely you'd have paid your penance by now.
It's not up for me to decide. My life's in the Queen's hands. The condemned isn't the worst part. All these years I've prayed for to Torag for forgiveness countless times. gaunt his priest countless times I've kneeled before his altar. If only the father of dwarven kind would answer my prayers just once. Not to restore what I've lost, just to tell me I'm still one of his children. Seems he doesn't give a damn. What can I expect from mere mortals when my own god doesn't think I deserve redemption?
Well, I have to go.
Go on then. Maybe we'll see each other again.
Well, he seems like a cheery fellow. That's a good type of person. Let's see. Lots of crusaders, some nobles. Kyato, you've got a name. What do you want to say? I believe the help is already on the way. The queen will not leave us to die. Yeah, bro. Alright, Lan. Here for a chat? I've been waiting for you to come and see what strange beast you've taken into your party. I'd like to know more about you. Let me guess. Your first question is, can you wear a hat with your one horn? Am I right? Yeah, you speak common. Much better than the rest of your tribe. Funnily enough, common isn't all that common underground, but your observation is correct. I used to live on the surface with my parents for a while, had a chance to learn a few things. The language, the fact every peasant who sees my scaly mug screams demon and runs away. I don't know if you're interested, but my mom wasn't from the underground tribe. She was a smuggler, the kind of smuggler that used the dungeons of Canopus to secretly move and store goods. One time, two gangs couldn't agree on how to share a prime cut, got into fight, winners threw the losers down a hole, dead and living alike. My dad went to check if the corpses had anything useful on them. He found a girl from the surface, barely clinging to life. An incredible feeling sparked between them. Or maybe the girl just liked men with scales and a cat nose. That might be it. One way or another, he got her back on her feet. He later even left his home caves. She left her smuggling behind. They began an honest life together. That's the delightful story of how old land came into this world. The next chapter, however. My family and I never stayed in one place for long. We lived sometimes on the surface, sometimes underground. Couldn't find a place to call home. Living in the caves was hard on my mom. My dad's appearance raised too many questions in death. They're at a war with demons, after all. In the end, my parents decided to stop making each other miserable and separated. My father and I returned to our tribe. I think the peasant screaming demon had something to do with it, or maybe Dad just couldn't stand life without rat tail soup. I wouldn't rule out the possibility. Mongrels have short lifespans. You don't look like you're old or dying. How old are you? I'm as old as I look. No surprises there, but remember Saul? He's 10 years older than me. I remember him back when he was a fearless warrior, and day by day I watched him turn into an old man. Him and my father. It happens very quickly. First you miss a shot because you don't see the target as clearly. Think it's because your eyes are tired. You tell yourself it'll get better tomorrow. And you notice you're having trouble breathing, climbing's harder than before. Fingers stop bending. Have to tie a sword to your hand. Can't even put on your greaves without help. You're washing your face in streams. Sometimes you catch sight of a gray-haired, wrinkled old man you don't recognize. This goes on until one day, you come across a cave beast, realize you can't outrun it. My dad kept diaries, marking all the signs, and I saw it too. Last year I had to help him get out of bed, help him dress, remind him to eat. Sometimes he forgot my name. Told him we should have stayed on the surface. He joked that dodging a goddess was behavior unworthy of a crusader. He meant for asthma. Every morning I wake up and check how I feel, but there are no signs yet. Even so, I know I don't have much time. I need to do something useful before I forget why I came here. So, can you wear a hat with your one horn? Sure I can. Certain designs don't suit me too well. Did you come with me so you could see the surface again? No, that wasn't it. I just don't have much patience for certain types of creatures, demons, I mean. They want to destroy Canopus. I'll be on the side of the people they're attacking. Lan, you're my companion, and companions should trust each other. I'm counting on you to give me honest answers, not excuses. I guess you're right. I shouldn't have been so evasive. Just some things are hard to talk about. My family, for example. My birth, hell take me, turned out to be a great misfortune for my parents, all because I'm relatively healthy. I'm the best thing that can come from a marriage between a cave-dwelling mongrel and anyone from the surface. A healthy child with the right number of hands and feet, no apparent defects, no missing organs or other problems. They saw hope in me, so risked having more children. They thought it would somehow be alright. Could have had 4 brothers. The first was born 2 years after me. Died 3 years later. Didn't have a nose. Nothing even resembling one. He could only breathe through his mouth. Mom and Dad were afraid to take their eyes off him for fear he'd choke and suffocate on something. But in the end, it was his weak heart that killed him. Then there was another pregnancy and birth. I pretended I was sleeping, but snuck out of my bedroom and listened under the doors all those hours. It was very strange, but I never heard the newborn screaming, Mom moaning, yes, the priest praying, and I dared to open the door a little and look inside. The priest stood there, very pale. One of them was holding something, a small object, fit in his palm. He asked, "Do you know what this is?" And the other said, "I think it's a head." "That's enough, lad. You don't have to keep going if it hurts you." "Hell no. I started to tell you, and I'll make it to the end. You want to know why I followed you to the surface? Well, here's the reason. Turned out, this time, Mom was expecting triplets. The first of the babies was born in pieces. The other 2 didn't live long enough to draw their first breath. About 3 weeks later, my father took me to the caves. He didn't want to leave. I could see it on his face, but I think my mom and he decided it together. The curse my people have carried since the First Crusade stood between them, not to mention the 4 dead babies. And old age was rapidly taking its toll on my father. After we returned to the cage, he only lived another 4 years. So if you're asking me why I've decided to go up with you to the surface and join the Crusaders, well, the answer is I've always wanted to. I was afraid to leave my tribe. It always haunted me I'd die in a world where 4 crusades could do nothing to stop the beast from the abyss, and the number of victims kept growing. I wanted to change that. Or at least try to. And if changing things is too much to ask, then at least get a little revenge. The ones who are behind the world wound owe me a great debt. The lives of 4 brothers, all my mother's tears, my father's broken heart. It's a lot. So much that killing a couple demons won't do it. I want to do something real. I'm ready to pay any price. Call it a personal crusade if you like. I used to think that things would be better if I'd never been born, but now I think I was born for this. Your parents' love didn't survive hardship, but that doesn't mean the same thing will happen to you. What if you find true love? Someone who won't leave you no matter what. And to break my beloved's heart when I die in her arms 4 years later? That's a fine thing to do to the person you love. Then again, there is the chance I'll inspire some tragic bard to write a tearful ballad. Why didn't you go up and join the Crusaders before? Just couldn't abandon my tribe. I'm their best hunter. They'll have it much harder without me, but now that the demons have nearly destroyed Canabras and the caves almost collapsed on our heads, sitting and watching it out wasn't an option. Anyways, I'm more useful up here than I am down there. Plus, the chief let me go, which means my debt to the tribe has been paid. Would you like to find your mother? No. I don't want to meet her, not because I feel any resentment. It's just she's a half-elf. She's barely got her first gray hair. I'll be a ramshackle old man. She's buried enough children. No need to make her witness the death of another one. I hope you understand. I am very sorry, truly. Well, and I'm very lucky. I met someone who not only helped me choose the right path, but is happy to listen to my whining. Thanks for sharing, Lon. Thanks for listening. I want to talk about Winduog. Are you sure? Alright. Tell me about your connection to Winduog. My connection to Winduog? I mean, where do I start? Grew up together, trained together. She was the chief's daughter. She was groomed to be the best all her life, and then I came along. We were rivals, but we dragged each other out of tight spots too. I've always been drawn to grand, heroic jesters, sometimes idiotic ones. Whereas Windu liked to roam unexplored passages, finding new caves, making maps, wanted to be a great huntress. One who'd make it to the shield mage, but it'd be better if she died. The death of a friend is painful, but watching a friend become a shadow of their former self is unbearable. She doesn't think she's a shadow of her former self. Of course. She thinks she did everything right. Because the second she starts to doubt herself, she'll have to face the truth. To admit she's a cannibal that demons use as they wish. She wants to get stronger and stronger. But for what? I'll never understand what drives her. Were you just friends, or were you more than that? Wow, you really don't pull your punches, do you? There was a time when I asked myself the same question. When Duog knew me better than anyone. She understood me better than anyone. She was the first girl I ever... Well, you know, we never loved each other. Maybe I could have grown to love her, but it always seemed like she never understood what love was. Maybe she just wasn't capable of those kinds of feelings. Thanks, I've found out everything I wanted to know. If you ever want to reopen any of more of my old wounds, you know where to find me. I've found out everything I wanted to know. Thank you. Sure thing. Tell me about your people. We'll go through the rest of these later. Let's chat with Intara. An imposing young Oread, surrounded by a crowd of crusaders who are hanging on to her every word. I hope this example clearly illustrates the difference between just the legionnaires and the last war and the crusaders. The perfection of form and spirit they were imbued with during creation turned them into parts of a well-balanced war machine, not a ragtag bunch of individuals, but a united whole. Now tell me again, why I'm supposed to be impressed by your reckless assaults where everyone's fighting for the ego and for the right to beat their peers to a swift but pointless heroic sacrifice. Well, it looks like we've got ourselves a student of warfare. Were your words meant to recognize my achievements, or to start a fight the way Mendivian crusaders usually do? If those gists of yours, or whatever, come for us, we'd have their guts for garters. You think we never fought a mighty adversary before? I would love to see you storm a 60-foot-tall walking castle shaped like a gigantic elephant that carries siege fortifications on its back. Now have you know, those fortifications were defended by Justkan priest craftsmen, armed with demon-bound war machines. They use the enemies you cannot defeat as mindless weapons. You should not argue with someone who happens to be the most authoritative researcher on the history of warfare 3,000 years before the foundation of Absalom. The lecture is over. Do my esteemed listeners have any questions? Who are you? I am Intara, a warrior, magus, and scholar of classical warfare from Geralt. I admit I'm mildly offended by the fact my name is entirely unfamiliar to you, but I'm willing to accept this is due to Aveston's isolation from the sophisticated culture of the world at large. You've come a long way here. I like to think of myself as an inhabitant of Galarian. I don't narrowly identify with any country in particular. So why did you come here? To witness a legendary war? The confrontation between denizens of a plain famous for its love of violence and the crusaders from every continent, united by the common goal of defending their home. An epic struggle of colossal proportions. It hasn't been particularly epic so far, truth be told. Maybe she just can't see it from here. The view will get way more epic if she stops hiding among us and takes a walk outside. Looks like you know... well... Aren't you the insolent one? I'm the impartial one. Not taking part in your conflict allows me to watch from the outside, form an unbiased opinion. Why don't you join the Crusaders? Show them how fighting should be done. No, I'm a historian, an analyst, a theorist. Do you know what these three words have in common? They describe a mortal woman who does not participate in the conflict upon which a thesis will be founded. But, then again, I will hardly be able to describe this mess as anything other than a feeble likeness of the last war of Chistka. The more dangerous the upcoming scuffle is, the more motivated we are to find clever and pretty words to justify not doing the actual fighting. What is this last war that you've mentioned? The last war of Chistka, of course. A large-scale conflict that took place 3,000 years before the foundation of Absalom. It was a war against the Assyrian pharaoh of the Forgotten Plagues, the war that ended the legendary Chistka Imperium, an epic struggle that became the most vibrant page in military history. Alas, all conflicts that followed it were but a pale shadow, including the one I'm witnessing here. Why do you find the last war of Chistka so inspiring?
Imagine legions of golems imbued with extraplanar spirits marching into battle. Imagine flying cities that swoop out of the clouds like terrifying monstrous birds of prey to drop forces on top of enemy castles. Picture gigantic mechanisms powered by captive and very angry demons and devils. Imagine standing on the warpath of walking citadels, or having to cover your ears to block out the sound of cannons loaded with shrieking elementals. Finally, imagine the ultimate weapon that defeated the Gistka, the deadly night plague. This affliction was an attack dog, a trained epidemic, a tamed pestilence, striking only those who its master wanted to kill. Imagine all those terrors that understand no flight of fancy can even come close to the horror of nightmares they made real. How do you know so much about Gisca's last war? I could say without false modesty there's no more authoritative researcher on Galarian when it comes to this history of warfare 3,000 years, before the foundation of Absalom. I've dedicated my whole life to this subject. I've visited old battlefields, studied the most mysterious and forbidden archives containing chronicles of ancient wars, and sometimes risking my life in the process. I saw a fallen sky city of the Shori Empire with my own eyes. I've ripped out the control crystal from an exterminator-class combat golem that guarded a Gistka laboratory with my own hands. These fingers held the glass flask that the servants of the Pharaoh of the Forgotten Plagues used to create the first generation of pestilence that devastated the Gistka Imperium. How do I know so much? I saw and touched everything I'm telling you about. Well, you're wrong to treat the Crusaders with such disdain. Allow me to explain. A debate? Oh, I will be happy to prove that the current conflict can't hold a candle to the last war of Gistka. Very well. The last war of Gistka was waged using a significantly greater number of troops. Both sides actively relied on enforcements from allied planes, and the strategic planning was perfected through no fewer than 7 rounds of intensive design. None of the above applies to this war of yours. Compared to the Gistka, we are but stone club cold-wielding kobolds. I would like to conclude my thesis with a few more words of wise counsel from Dagon, an advisor to the Pharaoh of the Forgotten Plagues. I doubt you will comprehend the true genius of this statement, but here it is, nevertheless. A gadfly sees an ox. The ox pays no heed to the gadfly, but crimson fever takes them both. Well, the events of the past are shrouded in legend, but the fate of the world is being decided here and now. That is what you fail to grasp. Of course, I'm not trying to diminish the importance of current events. What I am trying to say is that from the standpoint of history, particularly the history of warfare, the true importance of these developments won't become obvious until later. As a scholar, I cannot deny that there is a certain truth beneath your skeptical statements. History is a complex discipline, rooted in fact and an evidentiary base that grows ever more meager the further the described period is from the present moment. If I were to argue, in bad faith, the way Crusaders embellish their tales of slaying a single Brimarak by adding a dozen Balos, for example, I could win this debate. But I am above such things, and I therefore am forced to admit that your skepticism is not entirely without merit. Well, I'm sure you would have been able to expound on your arguments in a longer discussion. I'm glad we both understand this limitation. It's always a pleasure to face a worthy opponent, even if the debate takes place in a grimy tavern. Perhaps especially because of that. This is a worthy blade. It will be of use not only for the strong, but also for the wise. And this is where I bid you farewell. Before the end of the day, I was planning to observe how winged demons use pack tactics to drive the prey like herds of livestock. It's about time I got back to my research. Stay safe. We got a thing. I do want to talk to fucking Pink Eye over here, but we got a thing. We got a weapon. Where's my weapon? There it is. Claw of Gistka. Why don't we give this to our dear friend instead? Look at that shit. That, my friends, is some good stuff. Alright. We just got one more companion to talk to, and then we're done. Then we'll go outside. Hey there. During that march through the dungeon, we never got the chance to exchange a proper greeting. It's high time I shake your hand. So, what do you think of what's going on in Canabres?
It's complete chaos. Lucky we're here to handle it, right? Does the way I talk bother you? I know I can seem blasé. Many good people and our protector, Terendeliv, died here in Canopris. A Paladay of Iomade is expected to be properly respectful and solemn. But I prefer to face my troubles with a smile and a bit of common sense. Grief is a weapon they'll use against you, and undermine a warrior's spirit. It's better we hold off on grief till we've driven the last demon and cultist from the city. Well, I'm not bothered by how you talk. What matters is how you fight. Now you're talking sense. Well, you can trust in my sword. I'd like to know more about you. Of course, ask anything. I'll answer honestly. Tell me about yourself. Where are you from? I'm a little bit from Geb, a little bit from Katapesh, but mostly from the Knights of Iomade. I was accepted and began my training at 14. I belong to their ranks more than any other place. You've come to Mindet by a long road, haven't you? A very long one. A traveler is expected to have amusing stories. Unfortunately, I only have 3 tales of any interest, and I like to save them for our next feast. Otherwise, I won't have anything to show for myself when it's time to start bragging. That won't do. Especially since I'll win the night with my cautionary tale of battle against the Chupacabras. Well, what a feast it will be. We'll talk when we celebrate our next victory. I like your attitude. Never overcome grief and misery without hope for the better, and dreams of brighter days. So what made you a paladin of Iomade? That's a serious question, and a good one. You should ask it of your companions. But it's a long story. To start with, 12 years ago, I was nothing like the person I am now. I roamed the streets of Sulku with the other homeless orphans. I stole, I fought, I was a hired sword. Not a proper origin for a paladin, is it? Back then, Sulku was a city of orphans, widows, and widowers. Gnolls decimated it regularly. My parents were among the victims. People there heard about new deaths before they finished mourning their previous losses. One day, a group of Knights of Iomade brought a glimmer of hope to the city. But while others saw them as saviors and protectors, I was busy pricing up their noble horses and their gleaming mithril armor, wondering just how much one of their pretty swords would fetch. A thief lives one day at a time. That's what they say. I was the type that never thought past the next job. And yeah, I was able to sneak into the Knight's camp, steal one of their mithril helms. I was right there when a Gnoll attacked the helm's owner. Akamai was the name, dealt a blow to her unprotected head. A Gnoll like all the others, she'd fearlessly driven from Sulku. One blow was fatal, but who was really to blame for the death? The Gnoll attacker, or the young thief named Sela? I know what it takes to survive sometimes. Can't judge you. Well, I can. I believe everyone deserves a chance at redemption. But redemption means you understand what you did. You're willing to be harder on yourself from now on. But you're asking what brought me to the ranks of Iomade's warriors. We all choose the paladin's path for our own reasons. Some are guided by nobility of spirit, some by a desire to fight injustice. I became who I am through penance and a debt unpaid. The day Akemi died protecting my city, I wanted to kill myself for the terrible guilt I felt. But then I realized it wouldn't make the world any better. I decided that instead I'd try and take her place. I'd become who she'd been, protect the innocents she would no longer be able to. What are the principles that you paladins of Iomade follow? I tell you, I'd like to recite our code. It feels like I've said it 1,000 times, but it never gets old. Strengthen these words. I will learn the weight of my sword. Without my heart to guide it, it's worthless. The strength is not in my sword, but in my heart. If I lose my sword, I've lost a tool. If I betray my heart, I've died. I will have faith in the inheritor. I will channel her strength through my body. I will shine in her legion. I will not tarnish her glory through base actions. I am the first into battle and the last to leave. I will not be taken prisoner by my free will. I will not surrender those who get under my command. I will never abandon a companion, though I will honor sacrifice freely given. I will guard the honor of my fellows, both thought and deed. I will have faith in them. When in doubt, I may force my enemies to surrender, but I am responsible for their lives. I will never refuse a challenge from an equal. I will give honor to worthy enemies and contempt to the rest. I will suffer death before dishonor. I will be temperate in my actions and moderate in my behavior. I will strive to emulate Iomade's Perfection. Well, thank you. I've learned everything I wanted to know. Hope I didn't bore you. Ask me something else if you like. Irabeth said your friend Jana Aldori is missing. You know what we should look for. Irabeth's worried about her fighters. I understand that. I wanted to look for Jana myself so I didn't distract you. But since you're in this too, I could use some help. Jana and I met in Canabres a few days and just hit it off. We went drinking. We went to that unforgettable celebration together too, but we got separated in the crowd. So we should start looking at the main square. That's where I saw her. She's a good fighter, even if she is green. She couldn't have become an Aldori otherwise. I hope that means she's alright. Is fighting demons all you want? Or are you looking for something more? How about covering myself in glory and becoming a hero of 100 ballads? Or at least a dozen if they're lively ones. Anyways, being more serious, the area around the World Wound is the best place for a paladin who wishes to defend the weak and serve good. Being part of the crusade is reward enough for me. There's something that worries me. I don't want to sound like I'm criticizing my brothers in arms, but the Eagle Watch and the other orders are focused on just one aim. The war against the World Wound. That's why they can sometimes overlook the smaller things. Ordinary misfortunes, you know? I always liked being a wandering knight because at any moment I could get up and go and help a poor rat folk whose family had been kidnapped or an old woman whose favorite dog had gone missing. So here's my answer. I don't have some big important goal. And I'll be happy to help those who need it. A little bit here and there. Thank you for speaking with me. Till next time. See you. Alright, let's get the fuck out of here and go do some shit. We got a lot of places to go check out. Picked up a lot of good shit. This place has been sanctified. You can protect the area around it from the corruption of the abyss. Always good. Alright, let's hit the road. What do I want to do first? Well, there's a box over there I have to go loot. So let's go loot that. And now let's hit the road. Okay. Add Woljif to our list of fierce companions. Let's get ready to go kill some fucking demons. Sorry, the beginning took so long, but backstory stuff is always important. So, let's see. We could go to the Blackwing Library. That was the Staunton questline. This is the Woljif questline. There's the Pataxian Wine Cellar. That's just like a little side quest-esque location. Other than that, we have the Great Garrison. It's where we were fighting. And we have the Market Square. We also have the Tower of Estrad, where Irabeth asked us to scout, and Gorm's Mansion. Last but not least, the Tirabade residence. So Gorm's Mansion, we can't get to until we've dealt with the Market Square. We can get to the Tower of Estrad, which is a little weird. I don't know what that's about. But I think first I want to go check out the ghost. Can't get there. So, what about the Thiefling's hideout? Fallen Horse. Sure. Reagents have been collected. Random encounter. I'm always up for a little experience. Getting Discord notifications. Alright. Can I see my enemies? Ah, a Baphomet cultist. Well, that guy quickly got nuked. So did that guy. Can always use more weapons and armor. See if there's anything else in the area. Looks like we're done. Let us leave. We did pick up a bottomless bag last time, which was fucking great. So we can carry a lot more shit now. Sela and the party were pretty much always just gonna fail to sneak past, like, anything. So, but excited to see what's up with Woljif's peeps. Always good. Got some thieflings. People to talk to. Lots of people to talk to. Those people look like they're about to have a bad day. So before anything else, well, Brother Woljif, you got my message then? Sorry I couldn't swing by sooner, dear sister. Curious me. It was just one thing after another. First I was in shackles, next, well no, I was still in shackles and I was being washed and the chief got me out and I came here straight away. Knew you'd been waiting on me. Enough talking and we'll be here all night. So, you had a clear plan. We're going to wait for nightfall, slip into the shop, grab the goods and leave. But even if the neighbors called the guard, there was time to slip away. What happened? That bitch Irabeth showed up almost right away. She knew we'd be there. Somebody betrayed us, and I have a good idea who it was. What do you have to say to that? Make it quick. Well, Woljif, tell us your side of the story. What happened? He speaks. I thought Woljif only brought you so he'd have someone to hide behind if things went south. What's there to tell? About a week ago, Sister Kirisme got 6 of us together in this very basement. Me and those 5 over there, I mean. She rounds us up, says we've got a score. And Centuries and Wonders, the one place no one's ever been able to hit. Place guarded by a golem. But now, a powerful scroll that would knock the golem out just happened to come into our possession, along with a tip-off that the shop owner would be gone on a particular night. All 6 of us know a bit of magic. We know that any enchanted junk will sell for a pretty penny, so we're in. The most important thing was that none of us was to be hanging about the shop ahead of the job. No casing of the place, no calling attention to ourselves. The job was top secret. It's all true so far. Go on. We did everything right with the locks and the golem. I picked the lock. I remember it clear as day. Sister Dalna was on point. Brother Melvin had the scroll. Daffy, Tavi, and Varner brought the sacks. We covered the windows and lit the torches. I remember scooping up rings, tossing them in a sack. One right expensive one rolled away from me. I crawled under a table after it. Next thing I know, Irabeth was there. Everyone scampered, but I was still under the table. Not my finest moment. I was going to wait it out, but then those blockheads were dragging me out by my tail and put me in shackles. They took all my rings off me, 20,000 worth. Add insult to injury, I never even found the last one. In the end, I got busted over nothing. So they caught you, poor thing, stripped you of your loot. You didn't even manage to stash anything. Where's the moon of the abyss, Brother Woljif? There, what is the moon of the abyss? It was an amulet. It used to sit on a little cushion in the window of Ancestries and Wonders. Sterling silver sparkled like a star, fine piece of work. On one side there was a half moon, you know, crescent, waning moon, and in the middle there was a dark crystal, like it was eclipsing the moon. Old man Philemon was so proud of that amulet, he used to say, I'll never sell it. Jewel of my collection. I used to go there to see what kinds of treasures there were in the world. Nothing else to look in on in Canabris. People used to claim it was a powerful thing, but who's to say? If you ever stole a thing like that, you'd have the guards on you the second you tried to fence it. Everyone knew that you were always hanging around in Centuries and Wonders, drooling over the moon of the abyss. Did you think you could swipe it and all the commotion and keep it for yourself? Did you hope that we'd be all locked up and you'd get off scot-free with a fancy trinket to boot? Don't take me for a mug, Woljif. I see right through you. So why would Irabeth arrest her own informant? Took the words right out of my mouth. Doesn't make any sense. If I was the rat, I'd have kissed her on the head. Been long gone by now. You know me, sister. I'm a cautious fella, not an idiot. Why would I go against the family? So the fish and the selling could have a nice Woljif-sized dinner? The Moon of the Abyss is a pretty bauble, to be sure, but it's just an amulet. It ain't worth dying over. You knew Erebeth's people would protect you, so you knew you could pin the moon going missing on them. Now you've come here with backup. You knew exactly what I was going to say to you. Only problem is, nobody's returned the amulet to Philemon. Are you giving Erebeth a cut? Is that it? Have you seen her? Do you think she'd take a cut of anything I offered? She can't be bought. She has like 3 Heralds of Iomedae all rolled into one. He speaks the truth. You find some nice who will take bribes, and I'm sorry to say, but Erebeth Tirabate is not one of them. Go on, Woljif. That's the whole story. Some family this turned out to be. It's just a name in the end. In a real family, people take each other at their word. They don't throw around accusations. I didn't take the Moon of the Abyss. What am I gonna do with it? Can't sell it to no crusaders. It's a special item. You don't want to wear it, it'll get nicked. It's pretty to look at, sure, but it ain't that pretty. It's really that important to you, Sister Kirsme. I'll find it. I'll drag the traitor here by his horns just so as you don't end up at the bottom of the Sullen. But, do you know what you're going to owe me for that? An apology. Right here, in front of everyone. You're going to apologize loud and clear so everyone hears it. You're going to say, sorry, Woljif, you're a good guy, and I was wrong about you. Fine. You're one of my people, which is why I'm going to give you some time. But if you run, Brother Woljif, the family will get you wherever you go. You'll spend the rest of your life looking over your shoulder, tossing and turning at night, fearing poison in every cup and meal. You'll look into the eyes of every tiefling you meet, wondering if the families come for you. You'll have no peace, but one day you'll be tired of running. You'll stop to catch your breath, and that's when we'll get you. Got it? Got away with words, Sister Kirsme. A way that almost made me wet myself. But away, nonetheless. Let's go, Chief. We'll go chat to that scary gal Erebeth. She knows you a little. We can ask her who ratted us out. I'll let you do the talking. Canabres is burning. Why are you squabbling here instead of fleeing the city? I'd be glad to leave like the rest of my brothers and sisters, but in the family there's nothing worse than betrayal. It's something we do not forgive. We don't forgive anyone who lets traitors off the hook either. If I don't find the rat, my superiors... Let's just say, I wish I was burning in Canabres. I want to keep living, so I'm going to take a chance. If I find out who's the traitor here, no one is leaving. Well, the burden of proof lies on the accuser. Woljif doesn't have to prove anything. Burden of proof? Are you a city guard or something? I don't know what it is with you lot, but in the family the highest rank is always right. And here, it's me. Very well. You'll find the real traitor. And I'll get my apology. Onward to Erebeth, Chief. Let's go clear my good name. Root out the traitor, but be quick about it. Time's running out. I want to get chewed up by demons. Interesting. This guy... I want loot. I guess, I don't especially like these folks, but... They all seem awful. Alright. Is there a secret door in here? No, but there is lootable stuff. We love loot. Oh my god. Lockpicker's kit.
I know the way.
That's a nice little find. Let's get that onto good old... Let's get that onto good old Amelia. Take off one of these potions. She's just still wearing chainmail, which is pretty heavy. Not that I'm the biggest fan of that, but whatever. Area exit. Let's leave. Let's go find this fucking traitor. Yeah? Works for me. Let's head back to Defender's Heart. Alright. It's me. I'm back. I'm on a quest.
As it should be.
To the tavern. There we go. Took a few clicks. Who knows why? Hi, Rebeth. I've got a question about a magic amulet. There's a traitor I'm trying to track down. He's your informant among the tieflings, among the thieflings. Nabris is surrounded by a demon horde. You have enough spare time to help out thieves. I don't like this, but I hope you know what you're doing. I'll tell you everything I know. I did not see my informant's face. He slipped out of a dark alley, handed me the note, and disappeared. He had a cloak with a hood masking his face, but the horns, the long horns, didn't fit under it. It should be a guardian golem. And Sentries and Wonder is the shop they tried to rob. The owner gave us the construct's code word just in case. The golem itself was destroyed, but that seems to be intact, so you can interrogate the thing and find out what happened to it. The code word is the Hand of Irori. Shop's owner must have escaped, but there's a chance we'll get lucky with the golem. Fantastic. Why don't you tell me a little about the Eagle Watch? Small order, created to fight not only demons, but also the enemy within. To maintain the purity of the paladin ranks, prevent heresy, and identify spies. It failed miserably at that. The Templars of the Ivory Labyrinth infiltrated it and formed their nest within its ranks. After the Queen entrusted me with leading the order, and Nivea and I practically built it from scratch. Got rid of the dead weight, people who weren't committed. Organized ways to transmit messages and orders safely. Introduced reliable ciphers, fantastic allies around the city, from Crusader orders to street beggars. This is my personal crusade. To purge the city of the Templars who infested it. Thought I was winning. I could feel it. We were so close to driving the cultists out of Canopus, but it's hard to admit, but those successes didn't count for much once the demons entered the city. On the contrary, if it wasn't for you, there wouldn't be a headquarters at the Defender's Heart. The cultists would have served the city on a platter. Yes, that's true. It's a good thing we achieved something. Thank you. So, I have to go. Go. May Yomade keep you safe. Woljev! Well, actually, I think we just need to head to Ancestries and Wonders now. I think that is, indeed, our place to go, our location to head to. Yep. I need much higher sneak in this party if we're ever going to get past anyone. Okay. Well, that guy's right in front of us. So.
Let's try this way.
Well, that wasn't great. See if land can do better. Oh, damn. That guy's right there. Well. God damn. The weather isn't great today. Okay, I get it. We're going. We're going. Let's keep heading to Ancestries and Wonders. Needless to say. Oh, Jesus. Well, at least I know something about these guys. I can shoot into melee now, which is useful. That is a big centipede. Come on, Lon. Can she actually reach it? She can't. I need something to increase Sela's speed a little bit. That is not great that she cannot. Let's see. Oh man, I'm not gonna. Yeah, can't attack now. Well, I fucked up on that. It's fine. That's good at least. Any loot to find? Does not appear so. Guess there probably is not that much loot in these little areas. But let's continue to Centuries and Wonders. Enter location. Yes. Ba-da-da. Well, hello. Is anybody there? That's, you know, normal. Well, what have we found? Demonic heart. Normal. Finian the talking weapon.
Phew, free at last. Thought I'd be flattened like a pancake under that rubble. Much obliged. Damn, I'm not in any pain, but my head is still foggy for some reason. What's with all the hubbub in the city? My name's Finian. I'm a Pathfinder. Anything I can do to help, I will.
You're a Pathfinder.
That's right.
Why, my Finian Dismar. Pathfinder, Crusader. Roam around the world wherever my tasks lead me. Scouting, mostly, but this last while I've just been hanging around in Canopus, waiting until I'm needed again. I'm bored out of my mind, but at least the shop makes for better lodging than some inn. So what I meant was, what are you?
What's that supposed to mean? I just told you. You want to know where I hail from, is that it?
Well, I'm from around here, actually. We Kellards of the Starry clan fled when the Whirlwind troubles began, but I couldn't stand back while the demons wreaked havoc, so I came back. Or did you mean to ask about my weapon of choice? My best weapon is every weapon. I'm a skilled and capable fellow, if I do say so myself. I can swing a sword and poke with a spear, but what I'm best at is communing with the spirits. They call folks me Phantom Blades. Phantom Blade? What's that? It's like a spiritualist, but with a twist. It means some spirit took a liking to me at some point, and it can turn into whatever weapon I need. Handy, eh? I don't need any whetstones or enchantments. Doesn't take up space either. Although to be fair, it's not exactly a barrel of laughs. The spirits that bestow this kind of power don't come from happy places, and they're not exactly bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. Usually appear after great battles that leave few survivors. Well, the city is currently under attack by demons. Wait, what? Last I saw was some thieves breaking in here. Then the guards came, everyone was running around. After that, it's a bit of a blur. Right when things got intense, they dropped the cabinet on me. I couldn't even help the owner. Just lying under the shelves like a dimwit till you came along. There are demons in Canopus. We must do something about it. The city needs every blade it can get. Hey, do you mind taking me with you? I don't think I can handle this alone. Besides, the more the merrier. So, how exactly did you end up in this shop? Gah, I've been in here so long I don't even remember anymore. Just sitting and waiting for any word from the Pathfinders, but looks like everyone's forgotten about me. Shop owner is an old friend of the Pathfinder, so taking up residence here. Alright, I'll take you with me. I swear you won't regret it. I can do all sorts of things. Is there anything your party's missing? Sword, spear, bow? Just say the word. You now have a unique companion, Finian the talking weapon. You can access him through a special button in your inventory. Click on it. Initiate dialogue with him or change his form. Finian will become more powerful as his story progresses. I don't mind the sound of that. Let's check it out. Here we go, Finian. Let's turn you into a composite longbow. Let's start some dialogue. Hail to the adventurers. You know, I've never regretted following you. Everyone seems to revolve around you like beavers in a meal wheel. I'll have a lot to write in my report to the Pathfinder Society. Though thinking about it, it's been a while since I last sent them any reports. I'd like to talk with you. Sure, go ahead. I haven't really done anything noteworthy yet. Do you realise you're a weapon? What kind of a question is that? Well, I mean, sure, the clerics keep going on about every crusader being a weapon of the Yomade, but I don't think of myself in fancy words like that. I'm just a lad with 2 arms, 2 legs, and more freckles than I'd like. I choose where to go and whom to fight for. I don't want to be someone's weapon here. Arden is dead. Now everyone decides their fate. How did you become a Pathfinder? Well, I've always wanted to be one, ever since I was a kid. I remember I'd go out to the edge of the village at sunset and just keep walking till I got tired or someone dragged me back by the ear. It was like something was drawing me away from home. My clan wasn't a nomadic kind. Before the wound opened, the idea of travelling anywhere never crossed the minds for many of the clan, but they were content with the community and their patch of land. I always wanted to see what lay beyond the bend in the road over that familiar hill beyond the horizon. My father wanted to teach me to be a shaman like him. But, as soon as I came of age, I was off looking for the Pathfinder Society. I found it. And yes, after 3 weeks worth of travel on foot, I passed their trials. They accepted me. My father hasn't spoken to me since, but that's alright. Once he hears my great deeds, he'll come around someday. All I wanted was to rush off to some faraway land, find a treasure trove no one else had discovered yet, but I knew I had a duty to Sarkors. Then the wound opened, the demons, the havoc. In the end, I never went anywhere. But as soon as things calm down, I'm setting off to explore Osland. I've already decided. Great ancient ruins, that's my kind of life. Being surrounded by the wreckage here is depressing, as I'm sure you know. Do you remember anything from before you ended up in Canabres? I mean, a lot of things happened. I remember how happy everyone was when the Wardstone was placed at Canabres. That was some celebration. And I remember when the cultists took me. My old party dragged me to the ringleader. I don't know his name, everyone just called him the blacksmith, but after that, my memory's all fuzzy. For some reason, he didn't sacrifice me or anything, just knocked me around. Said he'd been looking for a phantom blade for a long time. Remember why. How I escaped. What I did, I don't remember that either. Some crusader picked me in the wound, brought me to Canabres, and that's where I stayed, licking my wound. Maybe there was a mix-up, now they think I'm dead. Why would none of them contact me this whole time? The Bloodstone, you say? Which you're describing happened decades ago. That's rich. Next you're going to tell me I've been sleeping for decades. Last year that was. Well, maybe the year before last. I couldn't have been wandering the wound that long. I would have been dead or an old geezer by now. Quit messing with me. Indian, you need to understand. Well, not human anymore. Hey, are you feeling alright? Maybe you need to have a lie down. I'm standing in front of you. Poke me if you like. As human as they come. Or do you think my travels have worn me down so much I've become an animal? Not happening. My folks taught me to stay human. No matter the consequences. To remember who I am. To never shame my ancestors. Are you still able to commune with spirits? Maybe I can. Only they don't want to answer me. I'm still a spiritualist. The phantom blade, my power is within me, but I'm just feeling like I'm separated from the spirit world by some kind of transparent wall. I keep knocking, but no one can hear me, I think. Guess all the blacksmith's torture did a number on me. Broke something inside. I'd like to talk about something else. That's all. I should get going. If you feel like chatting, I'm always here. Really gotta work on my Irish. It's pretty bad. But let's equip him. Fantastic. Look at that. Got a fancy ass weapon now. Alright.
I found something.
Loots. Gold ring. It's worth something. Polished oak shells which showcase magic rings and amulets, and all that's left are the grubby handprints left by looters. Same. Some scrolls have been torn apart, others have been trod on by muddy boots. That's our golem. Unique weapons and antique armor were previously displayed on these stands. It's unlikely their new owners even know their value. That's unfortunate. Let's go around here. Any loot is loot that I'm a fan of. Moon of the Abyss. Got a little pipe fox. Summons a pipe fox familiar. That's cool. And some loot. A little bit of gold. A little bit of jewels. Master. Code word. The and Rory. Code word correct. Awaiting orders. Where did you come from? Who created you? This golem was created by Graffin and Son and Son. Address, 3rd building on the right, Jeweler's Alley, Nerosian, Mendev. Model, E504ENE, which stands for Experimental and Enhanced. For all inquiries, contact Mr. Gaffrin. Tell me about any suspicious people who came to the shop in the last week. 56 individuals entered the shop. Human, female, old, gnome, male, old, human, female. We're reeling off customers till nightfall. We need to ask it a different way. Were any of the suspicious people tieflings? Tieflings, 3. Tiefling, male, middle-aged. Tiefling, male, young. Tiefling, female, young. Describe the young male tiefling. Tiefling, male, medium height. Short horns curling backward. Medium length tail. Eye color, yellow. Hair color, black. Special observations. Annoyed master. Horns, tail? That sounds like me. That's not possible. I know what the security's like here. I didn't come near the place. I give you my word, Chief. No special observations. Subject was unremarkable. There, see? Can't have been me. Describe the middle-aged male tiefling. Tiefling, male. Medium height. Long horns. Medium length tail. Eye color, pale blue. Skin color, dark. Special observations, red hair. That's our trader. I bet your life on it. Karazmi drilled it into our heads so we wasn't to go hanging about the shop. Red hair, we got a couple of gingers, and plenty more who get it out of a bottle. So much for a special observation. Golems ain't all they're cracked up to be, eh? Maybe its master knows more. Describe the female tiefling. Tiefling, female, above average height. Hair, long, pale. Tail, not observed. Long horns. Eye color, blue. Special observations. Scar on nose. Baldric with gold stitching. I don't know that one. New rival most likely. Gold stitching, eh? Wouldn't mind getting to know her a little better. Enough. Where is your master? Philemon Foliatros, my master, is in his hiding place. Revealing the location of the hiding place is prohibited. Prohibited. Likely hold himself up in the basement when the commotion started. The entrance should be around here somewhere. Where is the basement in this place? The basement is below me. I guard the basement. Leaving my post is prohibited. I found everything I wanted to know. Well. Basement's below you, huh? Quick athletics check. Quick entrance into the basement. This looks like a place where someone would be. Emilia. Pick lock. Throw out like a Pokemon at anything. Alcohol. Always useful. Can always use some alcohol.
I will help where I can.
That looks like a man. That man looks like Philemon.
Marauders, bandits, scavengers!
Yeah, makes sense. We're all of those things and much more. Before you report us to the authorities, mind if we have a chat? Look, please calm down. No one's going to rob you.
You do look better dressed than the local thieves and ragamuffins. You came in to tell me the nightmare is over. No, it's not. You're here to steal my riches. Get back. You, Wooljeff, the dirty little sneak thief. You've been sniffing around my shop for years. Finally worked up the courage to rob me, did you? Get out of here. You and your pals have already taken everything, I'm sure. My name's Philemon Foliatros. I was the owner of this shop, but I'm not sure I can claim to be the owner of anything now. I hope there's at least something left of it.
Oh, come off it. Your shop's fine. A little bit ransacked, maybe, but nothing a bit of spit and polish can't fix. Where were you the night of the robbery?
You think I robbed my own shop? I was here in the basement. I was told to make it look like I'd left. The watch was very keen to get their hands on those tieflings. They seemed to be multiplying all over Galarian. So I did everything they said, and I've been stuck in the basement since. The golem wouldn't move from the door, no matter how much I yelled at it. Then I thought it was all there. Too good. Somebody came by after the guards and caused a ruckus upstairs, bellowing like mad, taking advantage of my absence.
Tell me about the thieflings that have visited ancient trees and wonders recently.
Should I tell you anything about my customers? You're not from the city guard at the Eagle Watch.
Chief, if he keeps digging his heels in, just say the word. I know how to loosen his tongue. I'm actually helping the Eagle Watch to catch the culprits. It's in your interest to tell me everything.
So, you haven't got the thieflings. I thought the city's finest were at the job. You can't rely on anyone. Ask your questions then if it's so important.
Tell me about Woljif.
Woljif Jefter, right? Yes, I've known him a long time, though I'd rather not know him at all. He's been skulking around in my shop for years, treating the place like a free museum. Always wanted to look at the moon of the abyss. I'd chase him out. He'd just slink back in again. He was the game with the rob my shop. I bet anything he swiped at the moon.
Well, that's not... How come I'm the prime suspect? Whoever betrayed us all, that's the one who's got the moon. I want to see if it returned too, you get me? I don't like the idea of other people's grubby mitts on it. Tell me about the redhead tiefling.
Redhead tiefling? I suppose, yes. There was one who came here, spent a long time looking around. He was a person of modest means, I could tell by his clothes, but he asked me to show him an Asimar-made chainmail. He certainly couldn't afford it. That's when I suspected something was off. I checked everything after he left, but nothing was missing. That put my mind at ease. Can't remember what he looked like. Get a good look at his face. All I remember is that he was wrapped in a green cloak like he was freezing, but that's all I have.
That's it. That description. Surely sniff him out. Come on, Chief, back to Sister Karis. Maybe go to have a good, long, shifty look at all my brothers and put all these clues together. Something tells me our traitor isn't going to wander out of this one. Tell me about the tiefling woman.
Tiefling woman? Yes, I remember now. Noble lady, unlike the tiefling ruffians we've around here. She purchased magical equipment for the crusade. She promised to come again. If only all tieflings were like that, I'd be laughing all the way to the bank.
Well, I found out everything I wanted to know.
That isn't enough help to help you catch the thieves. I don't know what to tell you. Now be on your way. Leave me in peace with my wreck of a shop.
Thought I saw loot around here. I guess we looted everything. That's fine. Sure. Do I see anything else around here that strikes my attention? No? Alright. Let's head on back to the thieflings. Da-da-da-da. Wonder if they started selling stuff now. No. Alright. Right, so looks like Melrune. That's a green cloak. Those are longhorns. Looks like that guy. Or Vanir. But those are curling horns. Those are long ones. So I'm guessing it's a good old Melrune. Easy enough.
I'm I'm ready to give you a name.
Well, go on, tell her.
The traitor appears to be Melrown. Well, the Q was correct. Interesting, isn't it?
Fancy that. He's confessed. Someone connected to the cult of Baphomet ordered him to steal the Moon of the Abyss. And the best idea he could come up with was to drag us into it. He got the scroll to take out the golem. He betrayed us to Irobeth so he could swipe the amulet in the chaos. Thought we'd get nicked and he'd slink off to meet up with his customer. You've got the Moon of the Abyss? Let me look at it one more time. My whole life I've dreamt of holding it in my hands, if only for a second. He said when he got to the window display, the moon was gone. He's lying, of course. He had time to hand the moon off to the person who ordered it. Bloody cultists. I don't really give a toss. I'm just glad we got to the bottom of this. So, what are you going to do now? Clear out of this place? Sooner the better. The city's dying. I don't want to die with it. The city would have already died, not for the people who stood to defend it with weapons in their hands. So defend it. I'm not stopping you. It's your city. But we've always been outsiders here. Why would we fight for you now? What are you going to do to the traitor? He'll be sent to visit his distant relatives on the farm. Think about what he did. Any more questions? Well, can I join the family? That's all you want? You can have your pick of the non-tiefling gangs. You no need to tread on our territory. The family is for tieflings only. Off you go. Alright. Good decision. I don't plan to hang around long either. Sister! You forgot something. What now? You should be happy to be alive. An apology? You promised to apologize to me loudly in front of everyone. We're alone now, but I still want to hear it. Well? Ah, that. So, sorry, I suppose, for being wrong about you this time. Don't think that just because you didn't act like a joke this one time it cancels out the rest of your record. I know all about you. Till next time, Woljif. That was the most pathetic apology I've ever heard. Alright, fine. Sorry, Woljif. Let's part on good terms. Now apologize to me as well. When you falsely accused my ally, you accused me too. Don't push it. Good luck to the both of you. Better than nothing. Listen, Chief, when you got a spare minute, come see me. There's something I want to discuss with you, but for now, let's get out of here. I don't like sitting below ground when the building above is ready to crash down on our heads. Well, but there's a door. Yeah? I don't know.
Wow, what is that? What do we have here?
Rely on me.
Well, I don't think Curious May would do that, but... Where the fuck is the trap thing? Trail leads somewhere. Somewhere over there. Need to go check out where that is. Look. We got a few weapons. Loot. 2,500 gold. I mean, hey, a stash is a stash. Right. Let's see if I can't pick out where the, trap trigger is.
As it should be.
Apparently the answer to that question is a resounding no. Well, see ya.
Bright future awaits us.
Sometimes you gotta take one for the team. See what's in that chest. Hey, it was all worth it for the jade. Alright. Let's skedoodle. Where do we want to go next? That is the question. Let's go. Yeah, we can't get there. We can get to the library, but I don't really want to go to the library. Although, I think let's get the Tower of Estrad thing. Well, we might as well hit up the Market Square on the way there. So let's go to the Market Square. Actually, you know, let's just head back to the Defender's Heart. We can talk to Woljif about whatever he wanted to talk about, and we can also sleep, which we should do, because it's getting pretty late in the day. There's also this thing that I've never looted, which has some shitty stuff, but we've also got some armor and stuff to sell, so. Guess my wolf has to make it over to me before I can actually enter. Alright, easy enough. Show me what you have. Does he have any magic items? Right, he has those ones. I forgot to look and see if he has any weapons that I really want, but it does not look like that is the case. Alright, let's sell some stuff. We can sell that. Sell that. Sell that. Sell my daggers. We'll keep those. We'll get rid of the dueling sword because now Camellia has a better. Camellia has a pretty dope sword at this point, so she doesn't really need most of these. Get rid of some Masterwork Glaives and the Falchetta. We've also got some useful. Alright. Very good. Woljif. Let's chat with Woljif real fast.
Look, Chief, I got something to show you. Ta-da! A real beaut, isn't it?
You've been searched by gods. How'd you manage to hide the amulet?
Thieves have their ways.
So, did you betray the thieflings?
That cuts me deep, Chief. You and I saw who the traitor was. It's just that when we robbed the shop, I went in first and took what I wanted. Nothing wrong with that. Although, of course, I did think about hiding the moon and just taking myself off somewhere warm when all this blows over. But only because I want to see the world. Is it a crime to want to travel? Huh? Is that what counts for treachery these days?
Did you really have the amulet this whole time?
Since that night, Chief, Melround didn't even set eyes on it. While he was dealing with the golem, I sneaked past them, and that was that.
Remind me, why is this item so important?
Do you really not remember it? Oh, I thought you would appreciate it. It's from the old man Fileman, the owner of the Ancient Trees and Wonders shop. It's the pride of his collection. The Moon of the Abyss, an amulet with a rare crystal crafted by an unknown maker. When I think of how much this thing is worth, it makes my head spin.
Why didn't you give the amulet to Kirisme right away?
What? So she would slay me right away, you mean? You saw how antsy she was over Canabras and all this. So I did it. I took the Moon of the Abyss. But I didn't go to Erebeth. And Big Sister wouldn't hear my explanations. She doesn't have the time. I even thought I'd hide the moon somewhere, and then when all the noise had died down, I'd go get it and make a run for it. I'm sick of the thieflings, and they never appreciated me anyway.
So why did you steal the Moon of the Abyss? You wouldn't have been able to sell an item so rare anyway.
Why, he asks? It's expensive, pretty, and you know, it's my amulet actually. Not meaning I stole it, but I mean, this is my inheritance. My grandma and I were poor. All we had was a jewelry box with the moon in it. She used to store it under the floor in the basement, and she'd take it out sometimes just to look at it. She was always nicer when she had a few drinks in her, so I could ask her things then. One time I asked where she got it from, and she said it was from a demon. You know, the demon who was my grandfather. He said the moon was to be passed down. My ma was good for nothing and nobody, so that's why Grandma decided to keep the amulet for me. She used to say it would be mine when I grew up. But she couldn't wait until I grew up. She squandered my inheritance when she became a drunk. Took it to Fileman's shop and pawned it. He gave her some coppers for it, and she didn't even haggle. Just grabbed them and ran back to the tavern before last orders. I've been going to Fileman's to look at the moon ever since I was a kid. He chased me away, but I just kept going back, so eventually he gave up. He didn't skimp on security. The place was like a fortress, so he wasn't worried about a street rat like me pinching anything. Even when I got more skilled, I couldn't get any closer to it. One day, I had no one to go with. Another day, there were only oafs who'd never stolen anything more than a church donation box. But when Karazme had planned everything out, I realized I had a chance to get the moon and move away from here. Maybe to Garand. I hear it's warmer there. I've stayed with the family for too long.
Risking everything. Well, deceive the people who considered you a friend. It's not the way you treat your friends.
Family, friends. You know, some people don't believe in gods, so gods don't exist for them. And I don't believe in family. All that heartwarming talk about sticking together. Ugh. People like to say those things, but when push comes to shove, Sister Karazme used to say that us tieflings were one family, and you see how that turned out. And did you hear that excuse for an apology? I did the right thing, and I was right to want to run when I just planned on stealing the Moon of the Abyss. Everything turned out as it should. Whatever you think, I owe you. I'm not just a thief, I have my own business selling things. Thanks to you, I'm still in the family, and they... Well, I mean, we have the black market sewn up in this city. It's a good way to sell valuables. So, if you need anything, a scroll or something, just say the word. I have a little portal to our people in Nerosian. You put a note there, and you get what you need. I can't get you anything big, but what they do have is all high quality. Nothing's too good for you, Chief. What's mine is yours. For a price, of course.
Alright, let's go back and rest.
Scoot over. I want my scaly side facing the fire. My lizard side always gets colder than my warm-blooded side. Go figure.
All right, let's get out and head on over to the market square. Yep, little bit of loot. Little bit of loot never hurt anybody. Yeah, let's get over to the market square. No enemies? I'm pretty surprised, but yeah, let's enter. Sure, it'll be a pretty sight after demons evaded it. All right. Yeah, no shit. Magically induced earthquake? I don't know anything about that. Well, come on. We'll save you, person. I don't know who you are, but... I don't do great damage to any of these guys. Yeah, that was awful.
Make every strike count.
There we go. Land's doing his job.
Stab you or zap you. Why not?
See if Camellia can. Woohoo! That was pretty impressive. Go, Conmol! Nice. Nice. That's what I like to see. Get you. Go, Camellia, go! That's not great. That's pretty bad. She can't reach him. Can she even? Yeah, she can't reach him, but... Alright, we've got Philomene with us. Finian. Let's see if we can... There we go. That's what I like. Stood there. Isle of Rubble is now. Don't worry, she made it out. I hate to say it, bro, but chances don't look great. But let's see. That, you know... It's something.
Our victory is certain.
Okay, great. Let's see how we're doing. I'm rolling hot on initiative, which is good for me.
Will hurt.
I don't like dretches, because they're fucking nasty. So, I don't think I'll suffer an attack of opportunity if I get over to the dretch. Great.
Into the fray.
Now, hopefully... Well, I thought she would be flanking. I would like to get around on the other side of this guy, but I don't think it's likely to happen, so... There we go.
You've crossed the wrong mongrel.
Ka-chow, baby. Easy fucking peasy. And then there's that thing.
Can we retreat already?
Well, we'll just probably not. Sad to say. But once the battle is started,
Calculated risk.
retreating is not on the menu.
The inheritor, guide my blade.
Not even fucking close. That, the AC that we're stacking on her has been very useful. That's annoying.
To share your treasures.
Alright, Lon.
You won't survive me.
Amelia, you finally get to go. So far, our armor stacking for our front line has gone pretty splendidly. Alright, we've got some loot. We've got an old map of Avestan. What's in here? Some more stuff, as well as a scroll of corrosive touch. That's always good. Scrolls of corrosive touch are always good. We can't get any closer, nor do I really want to. So we'll just hang out. Just fucking hang out. That's a check of some sort, I would assume. I want to clear the area before I do anything else, and I assume there have to be more enemies over here. Oh, this is like the market, the actual market square. Okay. Well, I could hear enemies. Sure. Ghouls. That's good. Lots of undead. Lots of undead. Woljif. You got this, bud. Sela. Why don't you go try and take some hits? Yeah, that multi-attack is pretty nasty.
Follow my lead.
Alright. Took care of them. Okay, let's go back and check out what's in this. the fuck? Let's try and move this shit. Uh-huh.
Look, the door's open. We are now completely at the mercy of whatever's up there, if it really is a demon.
We have nothing to fear.
We have the power of inspiration, after all. But hand me over my ladle and that rolling pin.
I like this grandma. Anyone who takes out a rolling pin to beat up a demon is high quality stuff. Look at these guys.
Now look, it's not a demon at all. Greetings, kind friend and rescuer. I'm Grandma Gratlin, theater director. These are the members of my company.
Granny, that's not a ladle. It's one of the props for the Malevolent Lich performance, the one Tiana made. It's a scepter or something. She made it out of my ladle. If she wanted to use a broom handle, but I paid to that daft idea.
So, what were you doing down there?
We were rehearsing. Our art distracts us from our fear and panic.
Really? When I'm scared, I eat.
We try that too, but our supplies ran out. But art is eternal.
Can you go somewhere safe?
Oh, don't worry on our account. We'll be going to our basement in the next street. That's where our lambkin is. We're not afraid of demons with lambkin around.
Lambkin.
Lambkin, our male lead. He'll protect us. Don't worry. We know where we're going.
Well, I have to go.
Thank you for rescuing us, stranger. Today you did a great service for Mendevian culture, perhaps the culture of all Galarian. You will certainly be remembered in future eras as the one who saved the critically, publicly acclaimed Next Door Theater.
I'm gonna follow these people because I feel like they need help. Unless they just disappear. They disappeared. But lots of ghouls just hanging out, huh? Lots of ghouls. Oh. Okay. Hello. That's not great. Oh boy. Well. That's bad. Well. We've got Lon doing stuff. Go, Sela. Now we might as well move her into a flanking position. Alright, I don't care about. So, which one is already hurt? I don't want to shoot that one because our melee will nuke them. I'll just run up here. Whack that one.
Stab you or zap you? Why not both?
Damn, need to roll 20 to hit her? We're doing good. Alright, go Conmol! Very nice. I should... Or... Well... Where are my other... enemies? Oh, that guy?
Distract them for me.
A calculated risk.
I really gotta run all the way over there.
You won't survive me.
Spirits demand your blood.
Might as well.
Glory without risk.
Right, Woljev, I don't think he
Share your treasures.
can get there. At least I can shoot him this time.
Should do it.
There's still another... Ah. Will he be able to shoot him? Yeah.
Endure this.
You've got this, Lan. Oh god. More zombies? Who would have known that the graveyard would be so full of zombies? This is... Well, at least they walk very slowly. That's good. Alright, Camellia. I think you just gotta run as fast as you can. A shadow? That's not good. Well, Woljif, why don't you go stab that guy? I, with my fancy magic weapon, will hopefully... I won't be able to reach. Well, it's fine. Don't assume you can really knock down a shadow, can you?
Make every strike count.
There we go. So far, so good.
That is not far.
Now what is that?
Looting graves? Not my proudest moment, but for a magic throwing axe? You know. Life is, you know, morals, they're fluid, right? They change throughout our lives. I'll be a better person tomorrow. A necromancer has recently conducted a ritual there. Gee, I wonder if it was the one that flew down and resurrected all the other people too. That's crazy.
I am helpful, am I not?
You picked a lock with a 95% chance to do so. So, you know, good job. Are these guys' weapons worth anything? They are not really. I don't really need any of these weapons. But I will for sure take some of the other stuff. Doesn't look like anything's over here. I do keep hearing more ghouls. It's great. I mean, eventually we have to come across Lampkin. Who the fuck are you? Hey, Curl. Hey, who are you? What are you doing here? Oh, phew, I thought you were demons. Good day to you, sir. Curl, is that you? Oh, Lady Seela, you're alive. Goodness me, that's the second bit of good news on an otherwise lousy day. What was the first bit of good news? Stick around, see for yourself. You know this person, Seela. Renvi, better known as Curl. He hails from Canabries and he fights in the Condemned. He's one of a kind, a rogue with a heart of gold. Curl, it's probably none of my business, but you should ask yourself if what you were about to do is right. I just thought... Oh, it doesn't matter. Can you tell me anything useful about what's going on in the city? Afraid not, good sir. I just left the Defender's Heart. Before that, I was holed up in there too, scared to leave after spending all that time under Commander Erebeth's nose. Sure was something. She's a strict one. Whew, when she gets antsy. Don't even start. I've had enough of her breathing down my neck to last a lifetime. So what are you doing here, robbing corpses? No! I think Curl may be a rogue, but he doesn't loot corpses. I just need to get these poor lads' bodies off the road. My friends and I are on a terribly important mission. We need to get through. What terribly important mission would that be? A cart is drawn by a sad little horse. Appears around the corner. Pretty half-elf's driving it. Young man in knight's armor is walking alongside. Even from a distance, you can see his tan face and blue eyes shining brightly. See? A terribly important heroic mission. My friends and I are saving a beer cart from the demons.
Seela, I thought I'd never see you again. I thought you were headed to the main square. The center of the demons' attack.
Hey, friend. Glad to see you're all right. When we got separated by the crowd at the celebration, I knew right away something was up, and when demons appeared all of a sudden, I realized that was the reason I had been so anxious. But I couldn't find you among the dead in the square, so I kept my hopes up. I was proved right. So you're the other bit of good news Curl was talking about. You and Jan are alive. Actually, by good news, I mean we found the beer cart. Sir Ellen and Jana being alive amounts to a quarter of a bit of good news. Well, maybe half. No. Aren't there more important things to do in this city than saving other people's property? You're absolutely right. I only agreed to help get the cart back to the Defender's Heart because we found it just a stone's throw away. But as soon as we deliver the cart, I'll get back to searching for survivors. By the way, my name is Ellen, Sir Ellen of the Hound Hearts. I'm glad to meet someone who survived this madness. You haven't told me how you know Seela. I'll save that story till we're back at the Defender's Heart. You're back there, aren't you? I'll have a reason to toast our spoils. Well, I have to go. So long. We're sure to meet again, either in the city or in the Defender's Heart.
Sure you will.
Come to the tavern. We'll celebrate the valiant rescue of this barrel together. Well, hey. Quest complete. Now, what did that person have on them? Well, you know what Curl was after. Right. Did that ghoul repel up? I feel like that's not a very ghouly thing to do, but go back down. That guy's head was like in his shoulders. That's interesting. I think the fire sword, you would expect it to do a little more to the undead, you know? But hey. Easy peasy. Right, let's see what's up here. Lore. These corpses were gnawed to the bone by ghouls, whose teeth were likely also the cause of death. That's always cheery. What the? Nothing like a little Baphomet. CeeLo, why don't you go up and try and take a shot or two for Woljif? Lan. Oh boy, that guy's got a big ol' stabby. Big ol' stabby stick, doesn't he? We'll move you around to flank. Flanking's always good. Why don't we shoot him? Can I not shoot him? I can. Go, Conmol, go! Well, the name's Lodric Vex. I shoot people I don't like. Easy peasy. What's going on with these neophyte folks? Great club, light crossbow, punching dagger. Take the scrolls, leave the armor. It's just banded mail. Nothing that great. Little chest. Sure are. Short sword, crossbow, and gold. Don't need most of those. I assume this is more not killed by demons. Their mortal wounds were inflicted by ordinary weapons. Assume that means that more human enemies are up ahead. It's a cat! Received item, tiger. I just picked up a random cat. Yeah, man. Sure. Into the house. I need to stop my little stream soon. But you know what? Let's go into the house. Let's see what's in here. I wonder if it's a lambkin. We got some loot. Ah, that is a trap. And there's a trap there. Alright, Camellia. Always do, babe. I don't know if we're gonna go for a romance with Camellia. I don't know if Camellia is even into me. But there's a book. A journal about an experiment. Today I was able to catch a quasit. Rory be my witness. So, this guy wants to study the language of quasits. That seems a little ill-advised, but once we head to the basement, sure we'll be able to figure out exactly how ill-advised it is. To the cellar. Let me guess. Quasits will be down here. Nope. Okay. Fighters must have been taken off guard, died before they could even draw their weapons. Bodies are covered in a thin layer of ice. No full plate armor? Come on, man. Not exactly surprising, but... well, let's see. Let's clear this blockage. Well. Sure. Did this guy fucking make a new kind of... the fuck are these guys coming from, man? I'm not about this life.
Cover me, all right?
So they keep getting summoned. I wonder if we just have to fight the waves, or if there's something that I can do to actually get through the door. I think we've killed all the demons. Let's look at what we got. The knights. Scroll of Summon Monsters, Shield of Faith, See Invisibility, Restoration, Resist Evil, Move Sickness, Move Fear, Brave Sickening. I want a fire. Fireball? Spell? Scroll of Grease, Fairy Fire. I'm looking for something that could maybe burn through the fucking door, but I'm not seeing it anywhere. I do have a lot more trinkets now, though. None of them are magical. Okay, well, first of all, use one of those, because I've got 46 of these fucking potions, so I might as well use a few of them. But let's see. Clear the blockade. Shadow Demon.
As it should be.
See Invisibility. Maybe the Scroll of See Invisibility is the answer here.
Open your heart to me.
Let's chug a few of these. And then let's use one of those Scrolls of See Invisibility. Switch over so I can use it. Usable. Alright.
Yet another obstacle.
There we are. Receives no damage from non-magical weapons. I see. Well, looks evil to me. Let's smite it.
The inheritor, guide my blade.
Electric Vex. Well, my weapon is magical, but I'll chuck Divine Favor on myself. Anyways, might as well. Woljif. Why don't we run over here, Woljif? And why don't you then run over here? Then why don't we just Burning Hands this guy? Milia,
Demand your blood.
why don't we use your spirit weapon? Move you over here. Lan, I don't have anything that will make your shit magical. Conmol. One rounded. Easy. Alright. Now let's clear the blockage. That thing is fucking nasty. What's our loot?
I am helpful. Am I
Ooh. Magic composite longbow. Huh. I identified the wicked longbow. Let's take a look at this fucking thing. Okay, we've got this throwing axe, which we haven't identified, but we also have this wicked longbow. I wonder, is the throwing axe finesse? No, it's strength. Whenever this +2 composite longbow confirms a critical hit, they must pass a will saving throw DC. I want to keep Finian on myself, but let's give our buddy here. Let's give our buddy here this magic weapon. That seems like it's probably well worth it on him. to the streets. All right. So those were the mortally killed people. Right. That's where we fell through. Safe to say, there's gotta be enemies over here. Yeah, that looks like a not good place. That looks like some dead stuff. Hordes of the Abyss march on Canterbury's. The Wardstone is their target. They must not be allowed to capture. The consequences will be disastrous. Yes, I agree with you, Spirit. All these dead bodies does not make me very confident for what I will find inside. Well, we'll see if it's a find. It's just a bunch of alcohol. I don't know that I would quantify that as a big find. Who the hell were you?
Thank the gods, I found someone who isn't fleeing in a panic. Are you crusaders? Mercenaries? I'm a servant of Count Darin, Caleb, Navius, Arende. My lord's mansion is under attack by demons. The master himself and all his guests are trapped inside. The house gods are nowhere to be found. I managed to escape their servant's passage. Will you help me?
He looks highly audacious. I confess he did capture my attention, but that's neither here nor there. We should help him. Well, misfortune continues to dog the house of Arende, I see.
You're telling me everyone tried to talk me out of taking up the position, saying it can't have just been bad luck that brought tragedy on the family and almost killed off the line, but I reason that since my master was the only one to survive that calamity, meant he must be blessed by fate. Pay was nothing to sniff at either. I should have listened to the people smarter than me. Ish. What will I get if I help this count to be yours?
Yeah, Sela. Lan's got it. This dude's just an aristocrat.
Alright, I'll help. Where's your master's house?
Alright. We can take care of this, lol. I do want to see what's up with the rest of this.
What do we have here?
Something enormous was dragged over these stones. Tarandalev, most likely. So that was our dragon bud, who died. Oh, neophytes. Oh, this is like the actual center of the town. Okay. Sela, go! Woljif, go! Camellia, go! I hate dretches. Really hate dretches. Okay, Lan, why don't you kill the cleric? I do hate clerics. God damn, Lan is so good, dude. Lan's just smoking these fools. Conmal, why don't you knock him down? Right, did they drop? More darts. Nothing crazy. Their weapons are always very bad. Masterwork glaive. Pick that up. Fantastic. That's a unique little thing. Demon invasion transformed all of Canabres into one great battlefield. Nowhere in the city suffered as much as this square. This place saw a clash of titans, the demon lord Descari leading his hordes from the abyss, and the dragon Tarandalev, the mightiest of the city's defenders and one of the first to fall. The scene of destruction leaves no doubt as to the battle's outcome. A skilled scout could recreate the course of the battle moment simply by looking at the ruins. From the chimneys torn by powerful wings and a sharp dive, to the bloody tracks left behind when the demon dragged away the noble reptile's broken body. But it is no hypothetical scout gazing upon the ruins. It is Ludric Vex, and he is not alone. The shadow of a strange, barely perceptible presence lingers over this place, like a gaze untethered from any observer, this mysterious force, unknown to mortal kind, silently assesses, judges, and seeks a better way. In an instant, Logic Vex is vested with this power and looks at the world with its eyes. The past, present, and future stand before him as a unified whole, an unmoving, multifaceted crystal that would be beautiful were it not for the fractures, blemishes, and flecks marring its splendor. What future do I see? Chaos and evil, chaos and order, good and evil. Everything is in its lawful place in the universe and is no longer trespassing where it does not belong. Nothing is disrupting the smooth and steady current of the river of souls from life into death and back to life again. The reality, rid of its flaws, is now perfect, and the aeons withdraw to eternally admire its beauty, which will never be threatened again. What path do I see? In the path exists the one who wielded this gaze in life, although the one and life are in opposite terms for aeons. The supernatural embodies of cosmic balance rather than who or what. A better word for these entities is how. This aeon appeared from outside this world, from the great beyond, to put an end to the intermingling of the planes and destroy the world moon, the chasm disrupting the order of the multiverse. Alas, the visitor from beyond proved too weak for the battle they came to fight. They even failed to finish casting the spell that would have sent Discari back to the abyss. With one swing of his scythe, the Demon Lord cut the aeon down. What present do I see? Ruins. Blood. Corpses. None of this perturbs the aeon's dispassionate gaze. The living are alive, the dead will be judged by Pharasma. All is as it should be. But the demons circling in the sky or prowling the streets create a jarring juxtaposition, like splashes of blood-red ink on a restrained pencil sketch. They should not be here. The world of mortals is for mortals, the demon's place is the demon world. How sublime the world would be if everything in it knew its place. But even the demons aren't as abhorrent as the sharp-edged, unassuming crystal languishing in the dirt among the bricks and smashed cobblestones. No mortal would notice it, but to the aeon's eyes, its mere existence is an outrage against universal law. If the aeon still existed, they would not stop until the crystal was unmade. But the aeon is gone, and only their gaze remains. Logic Vex picks the crystal up out of the dirt and stows it in his pocket. He is mortal, which means he has the power to decide what to do with it. Let's do it. Let's see. Well. My beloved brother, I admire your zeal, of course, but would you not agree this is hardly the time to be standing guard over a hole that no one will emerge from? Perhaps you're concerned someone will decide to go for a nighttime stroll and accidentally fall into it. Such foresight is laughable, but do you really need so many soldiers for a task? Can't your warriors be put to better use, for instance, fighting demons or clearing rubble, while the people trapped beneath it might still be alive? Don't you dare call me brother heretic. How dare you accuse me of nothing to protect this city, especially now when followers of your temple were caught committing treason. To my mind, you are no different than the demon worshippers, those miscreants, those beasts that are digging under the city walls. Everyone knows, my dearest prelate, that in your zealous pursuit of order in the city, you've long since forgotten how to tell friend from foe and good from evil. That's what happened with my adepts. Those acts of treason were a genuine attempt to save the city, and yet again I'm forced to repeat myself. We are wasting time on pointless quarrels. People are dying under the rubble. People we could have saved if you had only set your soldiers to the task and not kept them here guarding a useless and utterly harmless hole in the ground. Harmless? Well, if it's just on your say-so, then that must mean there's someone down there. Your associates, no doubt. They're just waiting for us to abandon our post before they slink back and try to. And you, I remember you. You appeared in my city the day the demons attacked and Terendaleb died. What are you doing here? Answer at once, or I'll have you strung up by your ankles before you know it. Don't think the demons have wounded me. Still have enough strength to take on 100 of your sort. What's this hideous creature? Lamb, at your service. My forebears fought in the First Crusade. I've lived in kidnappers my whole life. You haven't seen me before? Must be because you don't venture into our underground district. We've been meaning to complain to the city authorities. Our paving stones have been in need of repair for a long time. The First Crusade, so you're a mongrel. You obviously know human speech. Surprisingly well, in fact. Alright, let's be off with you. If you cause us any trouble, I shall hold you responsible. Come to think of it, you still haven't told me who you are. And who are you to be asking me such questions? I find it passing strange you don't already know who I am. Huron Shepuk, Prelate of Canabres, Inquisitor by the grace of Iomade, Defender of the city by the grace of Her Majesty Queen Golfrey, against threats from within and without. And as we can see, you've done a sterling job to protect the city. I'm Ramian of Edme, prior of the Temple of Desna, which alas currently lies in ruins. Wise Horan here believes it is vital to guard this hole in the ground from which he is certain demons will emerge at any moment. I've been trying to convince him the city has far more urgent matters to deal with, for instance, rescuing those currently dying in the rubble. You know what? That may in fact be one matter that is more important than guarding this hole. I put it off, and look where it's led us. I should have had you hung from the gates back when you dared to defend your king of delinquent demon collaborators. If the Sarkorians had hanged Aurilu Volish when they had the chance, there never would have been a war. I won't repeat this mistake. I won't hesitate any longer. Soldiers, seize this scum. Prelates, see reason. These are frightening times, but threatening to hang someone without trial, that is unworthy of a servant of Iomade. Lest you forget, girl, we may serve the same goddess, but you are not an Inquisitor. Don't question the way I choose to serve Iomade, and I won't question yours. Behold, Inquisitor. Let's see, what do we want to say? What precisely are you accusing Ramian of, Inquisitor? Treason. Not long before the city was attacked, several followers from his temple tried to secretly access the Wardstone and perform an unknown ritual over it. The Wardstone of Canabres, the gift from Iomade, the bringer of light, wrought by the hands of a herald, the first in the chain. Followers of that crazy runt of a goddess tried to meddle with it, using their magic. After hearing a voice in their dreams, my soldiers almost had them caught when Ramian got in the way, allowing the traitors to go to ground. I made a mistake. I didn't have him locked in a cell and interrogated to within an inch of his life, and now the city lies in ruin. It's time to rectify that mistake. I've told you before, and I'll tell you again. My people foresaw the attack on the city. They knew the Wardstone already carried the seed of corruption within itself. They were simply trying to heal it. I've heard similar claims before. Now where was it? Ah yes, from Staunton Vane, the traitor who brought down Dresden. The lessons of the past have taught us a great deal, and that is why I never believed you or your mob's lies, even for a second. And I was right. Don't lay a finger on him, or you'll have to answer to me. Stop! You are defenders of what remains of Canabres. Can't you think of anything better to do than be at each other's throats in the ruins of the city? You're a fool, Harun. You're a zealot and a murderer, but you're a fool first and foremost. When I told you the Wardstone was weakened, you wouldn't listen. I warned you the city was going to be attacked, and you shooed me away. The truth is that my young adepts were trying to save the Wardstone, and you stopped them. Borsler is truly responsible for this tragedy at the demons, but you've done nothing to prevent it. And now you would rather kill an innocent person and perish yourself than admit you were wrong, as always. Beast, heretic, traitor. He's slipped away again. What about you? Whose side are you on? If you want me to believe that you're no cultist, go and recapture that traitor for me. Or perhaps you want to defend him. If that's the case, my soldiers don't need to be told twice. I see you suffered greatly in battle. Nonsense. I had to deal with the brood of Nabasis. It was nothing. I've taken on worse enemies with the goddess's help. Why are you obsessed with finding enemies everywhere you look? Why? You must not be from these parts, or you wouldn't have asked such a question. I look for enemies everywhere because our enemies are everywhere. Who are we at war with? Demons and cultists. They are masters of deception. They worm their way into your favor and masquerade in all manner of false disguises. Do you think Dresden was taken by force? No, by trickery. Were it not for me, Canabres would have gone the same way long ago, captured out from under our noses. Now listen back to what I'm about to tell you. This was a long time ago. I was very young then. Just joined the crusade. Back then, Canabres didn't have a garrison so much as a public thoroughfare. Everyone who wanted could just stroll into the city.
One day at dawn, a group of refugees came to the city gates, bold as brass. The guards let them in. And why not? No one was ever turned away. 'Twas no matter. Everyone was welcome in the city. If you came from Mindev, or if you hauled yourself here from the seas, the crusade accepted all and sundry. But on this occasion, we paid dearly for our laxity. Just as soon as these innocent lambs entered the city, they transformed into demons, rushed towards the wardstone, slaughtering everyone, and who tried to stop them. 62 people died in less than a minute. The demons used their mutilated corpses to desecrate the obelisk. None of them dared to go near it. The light of the goddess burned them all. So they threw the blood from afar, spattering the wardstone from every direction. And the lead demon, eyeless beast Nago is her name, jeered and gloated, saying we mortals had been sitting ducks, and the creature was right too. We let our guard down, and we got what we deserved. That bloodbath came known as the Red Melting Massacre. It was burned into the townsfolk's memories. Since then, Canopus has adopted different practices. Heretics, cultists, spies, all the rabble who coveted or loose glory, we drove them out of the city. We haven't had any trouble since. Many have come here, even the Baylor Kramstade. And they have all been sent straight back to where they came from, or they were killed. You see, Discari himself had to crawl out of the abyss and come here. The goddess cursed him to break through our defenses. And what did he do? He left again. But we're still fighting. Now that is what vigilance and discipline can do. Ramian really told you about the attack. Those crazed dissonants were always bursting into my study with their incoherent prophecies that came to them in their dreams. I won't lie, sometimes what they said didn't come to pass, but can we really rely on the woolly dreams of heretics over the cold hard facts of intelligence reports? Plenty of demons could have easily listened to them, and whispered a treasonous plan in their dreams, and those lunatics would have been only too happy to listen. This time, tried. There's nothing dangerous in this hole. You've no reason to guard it. I won't hear another word. Demons are hiding underground. The proof is all around you. The demon spawn that tried to crawl out can't harm anyone now. Wait, you're trying to lure me from here, aren't you? Perhaps you're a cultist too. Want to help your friends underground, do you? You won't fool me. I won't take a single step from here. If you keep talking nonsense, I'll have you strung up for treason. Where can I find Ramian? How should I know? Weasel can't have gone far, he turned invisible. Probably hunkered down in some hole like the traitor's little rat he is. He'll be sitting trembling and waiting till he's dragged out of there. With a prelate after you, that seems the only reasonable thing to do. That's what I do. I'm sure lots of things sound sensible to you. It works too. As you can see, I'm still alive. I have to go. Go on then if you have to. It would be good if you could return with that head of scum. Well, he seems like a nice guy.
Our victory is certain.
I was very close to,
You brought the wrong mongrel.
I was very close to
Distract them for me.
attacking him, but
Did we find trouble?
I'm curious to see how this will actually play out.
You won't survive me.
Time to share your treasures.
The heartbeat quickens.
Jesus! It's like endless fucking demon spawn. We done yet? Alright. So that's back over where we've already been. Okay. Makes sense. I'm interested in what's around here. Oh, guys fighting fucking things. Great. On. Don't you shoot. Well. Hey, he's alive. Don't worry, I got you. What other? Oh, two more. Okay. Way to get him, Conwall.
Me, all right?
Alright, Lon, let's finish this up. Use the trunk to cross the gap. Okay. Well, we got a book. I think I've already picked that one up. A couple other things. Let's...
This is my kind of work.
Let's do it. Back up here now. Right, so this is where all these guys were. And then we were up here. And here's where we saw the spirit. So let's just finish exploring around this area, and then I'll probably call it a stream.
Stab you or zap you? Why not both?
Go for their hearts.
You've crossed the wrong mongrel.
This should do it.
Well, god damn, my boy can hoof it. Let's move around so we get flanking.
Distract them from me.
Bechow. Easy peasy. You guys have on you. Nothing great. That looks like a normal little house. This area is much bigger than I thought it would be, honestly.
Save
Loot.
the last one for me.
Oh, cool. So fucking demon jumping out of a... Ow.
You won't survive me.
That hurt pretty bad.
I'll cut you wide open.
Hey, we got something from it. Appears to be a cold iron short spear +1. Short spears are pretty nice. Is that a finesse weapon? It's one-handed? No, it's just simple proficiency group. Okay, that's not that great. I was almost excited. But it was less good than I thought it was.
I'll go ahead.
Those guys. That's a good noise. It's deep, demon-like growling. Distance. All right. I feel like there's probably something back here, right? No? Okay, just me. Okay. We will call it a day right in front of this little place. Let's save. That's going to be it for the stream. Thanks so much for watching.